Chelsea.
Hello, right? Managerial changes and we know Manchester City has football lovers. But today, there's no way to whether Arsenal is yet to win. Still talking. Sunday blockbuster is Arsenal tonight. Manchester City every match and today Chelsea football conversation. I'm your host. Arsenal looking sharp as Enzo Fernandez. Arsenal spectators and today Soren and Neto will be breaking down Manchester United and Chelsea. Wonder if there's balance. Chelsea building a title beginning to watch happening. Chelsea is the match and reviewing this huge Arsenal versus Man City showdown on the right. Dominance and them joining me here tonight. Wonderful minds, great injuries. From my left here, immediately here, I have Polo. Now Omar all out with an injury. And Arsenal finally found their good performances against City into the current consistent wins that they need. Now, I think there's going to go from Paul here. Does Arsenal now have the mental right? So, and next to Polo, I have the one of the Yamite here.
I think I was expecting more balance up front. I can't have you guys like Jimmy Gittins on the bench and you have to wait until the system begins to make a sensation if you are actually
right. And to you, our listeners and viewers on YouTube and Facebook, make sure you drop your thoughts in the comment section and make sure you're part of this ride. So, which players Chelsea still you and we need to read from you and your comments, right? So, you might next one position like this Oxford right now, Premier Sports Fan Center. So, diving deep straight into the issues tonight. We're looking at Manchester United and Chelsea. Strikers from tomorrow's match in the EPL 2025, 2026. Tomorrow night at Old Trafford, Man United on Chelsea in what could be a defining game for both sides. United have been possibly this season with Amorim still figuring out the best 11 they can keep using, while Chelsea are showing flashes of promises under Enzo Maresca, but remaining inconsistent all along. Well, this is a picture that has produced some iconic moments for years, some high scoring those guys and contention as well. Tomorrow another chapter. Wait till these guys now we're looking at this. They said one today. Arsenal United Kingdom City to win to stay in the conversation. And while Chelsea in the game looking at last side back wins, Arsenal remain contenders. Be a battle. Man's love and chess game between Arteta and high build for Amorim.
Conte has a lot of
Arsenal game in the Premier League.
He has a lot of
even Casemiro.
Even Madrid has always been the secret.
No.
Amorim.
I don't agree because Sergio Ramos was a Madrid player and is the highest player with the highest number of red cards.
Let's talk about Pepe. What about Pepe? Manchester United.
So guys, we're going to run that debate forever if we stay there. Enzo Fernandez is one leader we have in Chelsea after James, and as it is right now, I think Enzo Fernandez commands more playing time than James now.
The manager has said
do you think Chris James is right? So I want to answer this question and from your angle and experience of the EPL. Do you think based on Arsenal, what do you think a win here could mean psychologically?
So, but you look at his own tactics. It shows that he keeps changing players.
How many years now? 24?
Playing players out of position also. Same as Amorim also.
Alright, so guys, you heard it from us right here from the studio for the first time ever. Premier Sports Fans says that Rich James is not receding in quality. James is just
because to be honest, I've not seen
several quality players. And thank you very much. So Amorim's tactic is sub-level. Enzo Maresca's task. That's what we heard from our wonderful Dallas and is here below has just been speaks about how many of them go straight to you. One player could make a difference in players at a time. Chelsea, we've always known, have always been a club associated with ambition, fat success, and ruthless decisions. Some argue that what made them great, others think is holding them back right now. Do Chelsea need to be patient with Maresca or to build about building something lasting? Or is it the ruthless approach that Ibrahimovic used to apply to Chelsea? We're looking at Palmer making all the difference, and then the young guy from South America, and then João Pedro. So nobody from Man U side for you.
That's what I mentioned. And he also got 210 years.
I think Kawhi is
So back to Chelsea.
You just have to come.
I don't know where this conversation is.
Right, so we got Skuma as an addition to the United League. Got the first leg winner. Red Devils all over the world. That's wonderful. Beautiful. Unbelievable goal by Szoboszlai. It was a free kick that went to the record that week. I think it was the goal of the week. His job is secure right now. Fantastic winner. Can as well keep building. Follow in 5 years.
Everyone has been talking about right from the day the fixtures have been released, and today we are here live to witness it at the Emirates Stadium. And once again, I'd like to thank you all for joining us from Premier Sport Fan Center. And today I will not be alone in the studio to discuss and share everything I've done. First of all, I would like to introduce my name. My name is Paul. I'm a regular on this show, and also we have a guest here today.
Yeah, my name is Michael. Yeah, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Michael is joining us for the very first time on this program, and we are all here together to dissect everything going there. And like we said earlier, it's a match that's between two teams contending for the league, and the last 5 minutes has gone probably in favor of Arsenal, but Manchester City have failed to defeat Arsenal in the last 5 minutes. And last season they did a 2-2 draw at the Etihad Stadium, and the reverse leg was at the Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal trumped Manchester City by 5-1 to the and let's quickly go to the lineup for you, because in less than 2 minutes the game should be kicking off. For Arsenal, let's quickly go to the Arsenal lineup. There are a lot of changes in this Arsenal team compared to the one that played at the last match in the league and the Champions League. In goal for Arsenal, they have David Raya. You have the back four, usual back four. You have Timber, there's Califiori, Gabriel Magalhaes, and the returning, what's his name again now? William Saliba, making his first start since that injury picked up against Liverpool at Anfield. And in midfield, Mikel Merino, if surprisingly, starting today's game again. And alongside him is Declan Rice and the Spanish midfielder, talking about Martin Zubimendi. While leading the line for Arsenal is Victor Gyökeres, and flanking him from the left-hand side of the attack is Leandro Trossard, and from the right side of the attack is the Chelsea, former Chelsea player. I'm talking about Noni Madrid. Quickly back to Manchester City's lineup. We have in goal Donnarumma. We have Ruben Diaz in defense. Yusko Diaby also, Kushanov and Nico O'Reilly in defense. In the midfield, you have Tijani Reinders. Rodri is back and getting better for Manchester City. Alongside him in midfield there is Bernardo Silva. While in attack, you have the ever reliable striker for Manchester City, the Norwegian robot, they call him, Ellen Haaland. Also alongside him is Phil Foden and the informer Jeremy Doku leading the lineup. You've heard the lineup from both sides. First of all, what do you make of the Arsenal lineup?
Yeah, if you look at the injury crisis at Man City, if you look at the injury crisis as City, there's a big problem for them because in this kind of fixture, you need your full squad to be able to compete in this kind of match. And if you look at the first 11 of Arsenal, I think Arsenal might have a very big chance in this match. And talking about the bench of Arsenal, yeah, I think we are having a very cracker game today. So in my opinion, I think I'm supporting Manchester City today. Yeah, City for the win. 100% City for the win. I'm supporting City. I'm rooting for City. Yeah.
Well, you heard that from our analyst Mike saying he's supporting Manchester City to win this game, and the game has already kicked off there out there at Emirates Stadium. So let's see what is the game for this game. But like they talked about, he said he's supporting City today. He has a reason for saying that. I want to believe he's one of those people you call Olote in
Yeah.
local palace here. But let's see if that will work out for him. But as it stands now, Arsenal are in control in the first very minute of this game. Still with Arsenal, starting up the game. Yeah. So there come Arsenal now, joining that type of surrender possession to Manchester City. Man City trying to find Ellen Haaland, but Arsenal wins back possession again. Let's see what Arsenal can
You don't the block. You the block.
David Raya now, who is been impressive so far this season for Arsenal, because there are some games he has single-handedly saved Arsenal. I could remember the game against Manchester United at Old Trafford. David Raya was very, very immense.
Yeah.
He kept Arsenal in that game. To me, I believe it's one of the reasons why Arsenal had to take off 30 points from that game. And here it is now. So it's still with Arsenal, who finds William Saliba, who is just returning back to David Raya, and Arsenal trying to play from the back. Almost risky there, but here they come now. Victor Gyökeres on the ball now, running down the flank is and strap it down there. But, that was a neat one there by Kusanov, winning back.
Okay, so it's a pleasure being in the studio talking about Arsenal and Manchester City. A tie fast turning into one of the biggest, turning into one of the biggest games in the EPL. The rivalry is growing between these two sides. Talking about Arsenal and the Manchester City. Yeah, they're both coming into this game at the Emirates Stadium off a win in the UEFA Champions League. So the pressure is actually high on both sides, and both sides are currently in form. Arsenal haven't lost just one game, but finds themselves sitting on the second the log with about 9 points from 4 games, while Manchester City finds themselves at 9th position in a rare position. They find themselves, they've only managed 2 victories and lost 2 in the EPL this season, so they'll be looking to get a victory so they can get very close to the Chasing Parks, who are leading on the line in the EPL table. My name is Adeyemi Shegun, and all eyes will be on the smart, talking about Jeremy Doku, the Belgian, who has been in massive form for Manchester City of late. So let's see how it goes down in this one. We are still in the first half of this account, just 4 minutes into this game. I remember 4 minutes talking about that, how much minute it took Chelsea to get a red card against Manchester United in that blockbuster yesterday. So tonight, what a way to end up the EPL in match day 5 with Arsenal against Manchester City at the Emirates Stadium. This game always have lots of a problem around it. We saw last season, and not just last season ago, even 2 seasons ago, it has always been a blood flowing between these two sides. So what are your expectations for this game?
Yeah, first of all, I expect Arsenal to be very ruthless in this game, because we saw against Liverpool they were in that ruthless, because it was so in the first half they had a lot of spare, but not ruthless in attack. But today I expect a strong one from them against a Manchester City team that is not that balanced to me. If you look at how they've been playing of late, you see that there's a crack in the team. So I expect Arsenal to be more ruthless and Manchester City to come out fighting, because for Manchester City they can't afford to drop any more point as it stands now, because if they drop any more point, they'll be finding themselves about 7 points, if I'm correct, gap behind Liverpool, and you don't want that against a Liverpool side that's looked very, very solid this season.
Yeah, it's still a perfect season for Liverpool. 5 out of 5 for Arnold Slot and his boys, and they're looking like yes, they are not relinquishing their league title one last season. They are currently the defending champions, and to think they are even yet to start Alexandra Isak, but Ekitike is actually doing the magic for Liverpool, and Arsenal will finish the runner-up on 3 occasions consecutively. They'll be looking to winning the EPL this season if that is possible. They've lost 1 game, and they've only lost that game to last season's winner Liverpool, and also earlier on in the EPL it ended on 2 draws. Bournemouth against Newcastle ended 0-0. Sunderland with 1 red card against Aston Villa. That game ended on 1-1, and we are on course for this one between Arsenal and Manchester City. 5 minutes into that game, we're yet to see fireworks in that encounter. Both sides are still sizing each other up in this game. All the time might tell when we'll be having the first goal in this encounter. All eyes will be on the 2 strikers of both sides. On the side of Manchester City, it's Erling Haaland, and on the side of Arsenal, that's man Victor Gyökeres. Yes, he's not yet into the EPL thick of action, but the goals are coming in, and we believe that yes, that should be able to put him into full confidence. Yes, Arsenal in possession of the ball. When it comes to defensive work, they are very good at the back, and straight back to the goalkeeper David Raya was onto the ball there for the Gunners. Yes, it was last season's one of the last season's best goalkeeper, having finished with the topmost clean sheet alongside Cells of Nottingham Forest. So this season he will want to keep that title to himself again. Returns the back into the back of the Arsenal defense and straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. David Raya looks out to his side and finds William Saliba, who returns back to the goalkeeper. David Raya with the ball. Arsenal taking their time from the back, not in a stress, not in a rush to attack against this Manchester City. Build up play from the back, but lost possession in that moment. Manchester City will look to attack against Arsenal, but unable to connect that touch with the on-rushing player. William Saliba was the one who almost lost the ball and put Arsenal in pressure there. Talking about Arsenal defense, this has been if not the best defensive duo in the EPL. You guys have a good setup at the back. Looking at Julian Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafori, who is back playing for Arsenal this season after missing a lot of last season's games through injury, but he's back. They are together forming a formidable backline. You've only considered 1 goal this season, which is actually a good record for Arsenal.
Yeah, very good record. And if you want to win the league, like you need to make sure you are very solid at the back, and that is what Arsenal has been, having. Not just this season, I think from for the past 2 seasons, but going forward has always been the issue. Now with the addition of what's his name, Victor Gyökeres, we hope to solve that problem this season. But talking about Arsenal defense, it's been one of the best defense in the considering only 1 goal so far across all competition this season. And we know that goal that they considered one of the best goals you're definitely going to see in the Dominic Szoboszlai free kick. That goal was a very, very fantastic goal. And so far now, Arsenal having William Saliba back, he picked up an injury against Liverpool in the early stages of that game, but today he's back now and he's starting, and
Okay, straight to Michael. Michael, you happen to be a Chelsea fan. Yesterday, you were just enjoying the studio, but today, I can see you're feeling relaxed. Not watching your own team play, but now as a neutral fan. Yes, we've seen the first 5 to 7 minutes in this game. Both sides are still sizing each other up. Not yet the best of performance. Not yet into the peak of the game. But having looked at the first 7 minutes of this game, what is your feeling towards Manchester City? Do you see them taking this game against Arsenal?
Of course. I know Arsenal is my brother from London, but I don't care about today. Yeah. Honestly speaking, I'm rooting for Manchester City to have 3 points. Yeah, today.
Okay. All right, that's expectations from Michael. Arsenal, Man City should take the 3 points. Twice he has predicted in the studio, and twice he has gone wrong with his prediction. I can remember him predicting a victory for Chelsea over Bayern Munich. It went Bayern Munich way. I also saw him predict a Chelsea victory over Manchester United yesterday. It went Manchester United way. So if you're a punter, probably you should put your money against whatever Michael is saying in the studio, so you don't find yourself on the other side. Yes, the top scorer in the EPL is on the pitch today. Talking about Erling Haaland, who currently have 5 goals in the EPL. Talking about a striker who is never scared of putting the ball into the back of the net, but he's up against the best defensive duo in the EPL. Talking about Gabriel Saliba. Manchester City will attack against Arsenal. Here he's they're moving forward with this great chance for Erling Haaland with the ball. Goal! Definitely the first goal. Talking about the goal, City. That is Erling Haaland. Took him just 9 minutes to put that into the back of the net and show at Emirates Stadium that there's no stadium, all stadium in England. This is all to ground. showdown. What a goal for the Norwegian. It's 6 goals this season in the EPL. 6 goals in 5 matches for Erling Haaland. What a prolific striker he is.
Yeah, what a prolific striker he is. A striker that's when you give him the time and space, the opportunity. We saw what happened just now. Nobody was tackling there, and he made that run. But I have to see if there's no any offside here. But
No, there's no offside. There's no offside. You have to look at the movement. You have to look at the movement from Bernardo Silva there. And he has 2 Manchester City players with him. That's not offside. That's definitely not offside. There's nothing not offside. That's. You look at the hold-up play. He started the move there. Yes. You have to look at Gabriel and who is that? Zubimendi, if I'm not mistaken, there actually slow on him there. This is not a situation where you want to leave Erling Haaland. He's always dangerous in the box there. There's nothing a goalkeeper will do when you have Erling Haaland going one-on-one in the box there. What a big goal for the big Norwegian striker. 8 minutes was all it took him to break the deadlock in this game, and they are not yet into their full form in this game. You actually predicted a Manchester victory, and it looks like yes, it started already for for Manchester City in this game. The manager of Arsenal, Mikel Arteta, is not new to this Manchester City side, but let's see if they can come back in this one and get a victory at home. They call the Emirates Stadium the carpet, which has been their fortress ground on this season, and it can still happen whenever Arsenal plays on the stadium. Okay, yeah, so that's the goal scorers on our screen there. Erling Haaland, he'll be looking to get more goals in this one. He scored 2 goals in the last one against Manchester United, and he'll be looking to get more goals in this encounter. Looking at the Arsenal versus Manchester City in all competitions, 101 victories for Arsenal against Manchester City, and we've seen 65 wins for Manchester City, and 47 draws have come out from this tie. Arsenal won 25 matches. Manchester City, that is in the EPL, historically Arsenal have won 25 matches. Manchester City have won 90 matches, and 12 has ended on draws. Arsenal have scored 81 goals against Manchester City, while Manchester City have also scored 74 goals against the Gunners. Historically, Sergio Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne, they are the top scorers in the history of Manchester City versus Arsenal in the Premier League. Both players scored 8 goals against the Gunners. And also looking at Pep Guardiola's matches against Arsenal, 20 matches he has won, 6 matches he has drawn, and 6 matches he has also lost against Arsenal, while Mikel Arteta has won 8 matches against, he has played 8 matches against Guardiola, Guardiola has won 8 matches against Mikel Arteta. Arteta has won 3 matches, and they've ended 3 on draw. Looking at this history coming into play between Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola, it's a boss versus versus students case, but right now I don't think Mikel Arteta should be regarded as a student of Pep Guardiola anymore, because he has been at Arsenal for over 5 seasons.
Yeah, being at Arsenal, he actually left his role at Manchester City to take the job at Arsenal, and Arsenal being his first real experience or real test of being a full-time manager. And I look at the history, Pep Guardiola, rather, it took him a lot of time before he could defeat his master, but in the last 5 minutes, and I think he has a upper hand in this game. And overall, if you look at the history from both clubs, you can see that it's a feature that Arsenal usually dominate, and they've dominated that feature for a very long time, not until recently when Pep Guardiola joined the team there, where before he had to help Manchester City. I think they went about 4 or 5 seasons winning Arsenal back to back, and that was why they could wrap up about 60 something wins they've got. If not, it could have been one of the most one-sided fixture in the history of Premier League.
Okay, let's see if Arsenal can come back in this one. Manchester City are growing confidence, and that man in the middle of the park, Rodri, who is the current Ballon d'Or winner. Yes, we'll be having a new Ballon d'Or winner come Monday, and we'll be having who is going to win that. Is it going to be the young Lamine Yamal of Barcelona, or will it be Rodri, or will it also be Moussa Dembele, who plays the trade? Ousmane Dembele, sorry, who plays the trade with PSG and the French national team on Monday. We'll be having a new Ballon d'Or winner. Manchester City holding possession in this one, wanting to win the EPL. They actually lost to Liverpool last season. Last season wasn't the best for Manchester City, and this is the first time we are seeing Pep Guardiola. He has been an unchangeable starting level for Manchester City in the last 3 games. Do you think finally he has found that balance for this Manchester City squad?
Well, you could look. You don't change a winning team when you are not Enzo Maresca, who keeps changing players week in week out.
Okay.
But for Pep Guardiola, I think when you have a team that give you a back-to-back victory, why not start them in the next game? And you look at the team. I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as you have the likes of Rodri and Ellen Haaland in the team. Every other 11 are definitely okay with it. And for him, I believe this is the best he feels that he can feud.
Okay, so they're growing into confidence in this account of Manchester City, but currently I have a player on the ground there who might be looking out injured for Manchester City. Yes, all eyes will be on that man spotting the jersey number 45 for Manchester City. Let's see who is that. It looks more like that is Kusanov. Yeah, will he be able to continue this encounter? I'm talking about the Uzi Biscan defender. Look at how they opened up. You guys are with defense.
Good work from Tijani Reinders there, who drew the ball there and assist there. And Alan was too free there. Nobody was.
Alan in the box. You don't want to leave him with that
you could
space.
see that the man that was
Tijani. You can look at the way Tijani was actually sighting and looking around on the pitch there. He has another Manchester City player capable of arriving in the box beside him, and also Erling Haaland. That looks more like confusing the Arsenal's defense there, because the players don't actually know who they should focus on in marking. But I think they actually left Erling Haaland. You don't leave Arsenal. You don't leave Manchester City to counter attack.
Yeah, I look at the player that specifically tasked to mark him has been beaten in the midfield there. Talking about Gabriel, and you see him tracking back very slowly, and William Saliba being confused there, not knowing if he should attack Tijani Reinders that is coming, with the ball, or open up so that he can block the channel which Alan is trying to run into. But indecision, and I think that was a poor defending. And you look at the way what's his name now, Tijani Reinders drove the ball through the midfield. There was nobody to stop him there, and that's where you talk about the Arsenal midfield there. We saw because you look at the Arsenal midfield, the three guys there, they are supposed to be a defensive cover, but overall, Tijani Reinders just drove that ball on mark there, and he supplied Erling Haaland. And Erling Haaland, we know, he's a player you don't want to get, you don't want to give him time and space in the ball in the box with the ball there, because if you give him that kind of space, it's definitely going to bury the ball, and that's what he just did.
Okay, we're into the first quarter of the game, 15 minutes back, approaching the 16th minute. So to our fans, yes, it's that time for prediction. You can predict who wins and by how much. Yeah, one could go for a bold Arsenal win, the other for a City masterclass to spark a debate. So to the fans, yes, we want you involved. Drop your prediction in the live chat right now. Who scores first or who scores second? So we've seen the first goal already to Erling Haaland. So who is taking the second goal, and who wins at the midfield battle? Who is taking all 3 points? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this stream so more fans can join and debate. Yes, going back into that game, Arsenal finally growing into confidence in this one, and they'll be looking to respond back against this Manchester City side. It's Arsenal in possession of the ball, drive their way through the lines and looking to break through the Manchester City's defense. Sends a long one, finds Madueke, the former Chelsea player who is looking for his first goal since joining the Gunners in the EPL. And here is Arsenal finding themselves in the box with this great chance. But that is off to a corner kick. Riley with a very good defense into the box there. 18 minutes gone. Arsenal with a corner kick against Manchester City. We've known Arsenal to be dangerous also from the corner kick situation.
Yeah, very dangerous, and they will need to rely on that again now, because right now they are down. So anyhow you get the goal now, you need to work it out. But Manchester City, they will be very, very wary of Arsenal tactics when it comes to corner. And you look at Manchester City, they have a goalkeeper that is very huge, who can come out and claim those balls, because we know Arsenal usually put those balls at the back there. So let's see how
they have a good goalkeeper. Talking about Donnarumma, and it always brings a lot of confidence when you have a good goalkeeper. You can depend on the goal in the goal post. He's one of the reasons why PSG actually won the UEFA Champions League last season, and it's also big same keeping for Manchester City. In the last game against Manchester United in the EPL, we saw him with some crazy saves, like when we saw from that ball which was kicked in by Mbeumo, which unfortunately didn't go into the back of the net, and it led Manchester City to that victory. What a way to start your career in the EPL, keeping a clean sheet in your first game, and now we are straight into the second game. It might just be one of those goalkeepers that David Raya should be scared of.
Yeah, definitely. It's had back-to-back clean sheets so far. In the league and in the Champions League, and we know we know what he brings to the table. Right from his
settling
days.
in well.
Yeah, settling in well. Right from his days with even AC Milan when he was still very younger, and also joining Paris Saint-Germain. Though he has at times a bit of he's also a bit reckless at times with probably his touches also. But so
He's
far
a
with
dependable
Manchester,
goalkeeper.
so far with Manchester City, he has been very, very fantastic.
Okay, Manchester City will look to attack. Arsenal defending with all their life now and holds onto the ball, but that rolls out for a throw-in to Manchester City as Leon Trossard couldn't keep onto the ball there. Long throw should it be for Arsenal, for Manchester City. But looking at Trossard starting this game, was that off that goal he scored in the last home game for Arsenal? Because some will argue that Gabriel Martinelli should be starting this game.
Definitely, but you look at Gabriel Martinelli has been on the bench for some time now, in some games now. But you look at if you talk about probably who made the biggest impact on the last game, I think both of them did. But this kind of feature actually favors Gabriel Martinelli because we've seen him in recent seasons against.
Yes, Manchester City. As a look up, going close again for a goal. That was on Tijani Rationals on the Netherlands midfielder with that beautiful shot, but David Raya responding almost immediately and pre-cutting Arsenal the blushes there. That was almost another defensive mistake from the Arsenal defenders. It looks like yes, it's really going to be a hard game. And yeah, he's up cross into the box from Noni Madueke, but couldn't get up straight to the Arsenal players. And Manchester City will break out from the back in this one. Jeremy Doku on the ball. Oh, what was that? Arsenal couldn't keep hold on to the ball there. Manchester City in possession. Jeremy Doku, another player who is in massive form for Manchester City, switches on play and drops it straight into the paths of Ruben Diaz, the Portuguese defender, holds onto the ball there for Manchester City as they're looking to dominate on play in midfield and defense against Arsenal. A long one. I'm trying to play in Erling Haaland, but that is actually too much for the Norwegian to get onto. And David Raya will gather that for the Gunners, and Arsenal will break out from the defense right now and look to get something going for them in this encounter. It's still 1-0 Manchester City leading against the Gunners in match the 5 of the EPL. If you're just joining Arsenal currently at home at the Emirates Stadium in this encounter. Sorry, Michael, we've seen 20 minutes of this game. What has been your take so far?
Well, in my prediction, I told you from the very first minute.
Your vision has never worked.
No. You don't need to go against my word in this kind of in this kind of match. I told you. Yeah.
But just very chance for but this time around, that is a Victor Yokeresh be beaten off the ball there by the Manchester City defenders. Okay, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, in this kind of match, you don't write City off. No matter how bad City can be in a season, where anytime you are facing Arsenal, it looks like they are playing the kids. So I don't expect Arsenal to do anything in this kind of match.
Okay,
yeah,
that's it.
So expect a hat-trick from Haaland. Yeah,
a hat-trick from Arsenal,
yes,
from Erling Haaland.
Yes, Erling Haaland.
Michael is predicting on the studio. Probably you can put your money on Michael's prediction and predicting Erling Haaland hat-trick. Go straight into the 22nd minute of that game. It's still 0-1 in that encounter. Not 0-0. Arsenal 0. Manchester City 1. Still 0 shot on target. Still 0 attempts from Arsenal in the first 22 minutes. Are you guys taking your time to build into this game?
I think we've been very. I talked about Arsenal needing to be very ruthless in this game, but so far we've not been. You look at us going forward. We lack a little bit of awareness or our composure going forward, because you look at most of the passes coming through Noni Madueke, and you see two Manchester City players quickly closing him down. There's no any other players there coming on to assist him. Though if Noni Madueke were to be the kind of player like Bukayo Saka, we know Bukayo Saka, he will definitely look that ball and try to look for players around, but you could see Noni Madueke trying to use his pace there. But what's his name? I think that should be Kusanov there, doing everything to make sure that he blocks that channel, and there's also player coming on to assist the defender there. So Arsenal needs to be ruthless if they want to win this game, and make try and aim for the post. The goal post, and put that goalkeeper to work.
Okay, we also have the CAF Champions League qualifiers currently going on, and we have Remo Stars of Nigeria against Zimanju of Comoros Republic, and Remo Stars who are at 45th minute leading 1-0 in that encounter. The return leg will also be played in Nigeria as Comoros doesn't have that stadium capable of hosting a CAF match. And also in the WSL, it ended Manchester United 0, Arsenal 0 in that encounter after Chelsea women earlier on got a 1-0 victory over Leicester City. Tijani Rajnas, who has been brought down there, and it's not looking good for the Netherlands international. It's only left to see if he'll be able to continue this encounter. He was brought down there by his teammate, also his countryman, Julian Timber.
I think he kicked both the leg and the ball.
This is a red card. This is a red card offense.
He kicked the ball.
I don't need to be arguing it all the time. This is a red card offense.
Wow.
Referees will check this VR for us.
Okay.
Please.
I don't know how that is going to be a red card. Not even a yellow card offense to me. Yes, we have to stay continuing that game. Arsenal trying to build up from the back right now. And we have Gabriel on the ball there. He's the standing captain for Arsenal. There's a counter. Returns back to Gabriel. And Gabriel with the ball there for Gunners. Looks out to find Calafori, the Italian defender there. Tries to play in his Arsenal teammates. Manchester City in possession. Looks to attack. And here might just be a chance for a second goal for Manchester City as they hit out into the box. And Tijani Rajnas on the ball there. Lost possession. Arsenal will look to break out on the counter. Will this be the chance for the Gunners? Manchester City cutting everything off in the middle of the park in this game. It seems they've done their own work on the Gunners as we are approaching the 25th minute, which puts us very close to the half mark in this first half. We still have barely 20 more minutes to play in this encounter. In the first half of this encounter, Arsenal still having a lot of time to respond in this game. Manchester City with about 20 more minutes to double their lead and put themselves in the driving seat in this encounter. Arsenal comes forward with this very Gunners chance here. Gyökeres on the ball, drops it straight into the parts of Leonardo Trossard, and the cross into the box, but that flew across the goal post. Calafori trying to send the cross into the box, but the Manchester City player actually deflected that off. It's going to be a corner kick to Arsenal. 26 minutes into this game, second corner kick for Arsenal. They are always a threat whenever it comes to set pieces.
Yeah, and I don't like the way Arsenal playing with too much confidence to my liking. Feel relaxed, not putting too much strength. Look at the way what's his name, Califori was throwing there, and to me, I need to up the game.
Is it that they are feeling too relaxed, or Manchester City actually frustrating them in this game?
Because you look at, I don't think Manchester City is really frustrating them. I've not seen that real press from Manchester City. That's
a big save there from Donnarumma, but still has in possession of the ball. Gyökeres on the ball. He wants a corner kick, and the referee says it's going to be another corner kick against Manchester City. Arsenal third one in this first half. In 27 minutes, we'll see Arsenal with 3 corner kicks. Looks like that corner kick was destined for the back of the net. That should be Declan Rice taking that.
And look at the height of Donnarumma there. The awareness also. This kind of ball beat some goalkeepers at times.
That's exactly why we bought Donnarumma for that amount. If you check, I don't see Arsenal as I don't see Arsenal.
Situation a long one in from Noni Madueke. It ended near post, but Manchester City regains possession. They'll clear their lines and clears it almost halfway. Will the Gunners get onto the ball, or will it be another attack from Manchester City? Arsenal in possession. Noni Madueke holds onto the ball there, beautifully done there from the former Chelsea and England international, as he has 2 Manchester City players on him. He approaches the box and finds himself in the box with that beautiful chance. But straight into the hands of a Manchester City player. Infringement there, but referee lost place to continue. Since that was a fair challenge. Beautiful run from Noni Madueke there, but couldn't get that into the box there. And he's still looking for his first goal at Arsenal. Gabriel has Michael, right? Rather, Michael has a Chelsea fan. Now, do you think you guys are actually missing a Madueke in your team?
Do you remember the World Club Cup final? Madueke has to run. Yes, he ran. Yes, what I'm trying to tell you that Madueke ran away from Chelsea. Yes,
there was the game yesterday against Manchester United. Do you think Chelsea has they've been missing Madueke?
We are not missing Madueke for any reason, because we have Neto, we have Esteval, and we have Gittin. We have so many wingers that can replace him. So I don't think we miss him. As a Chelsea fan, let's be realistic here.
Okay, so you can hear that one from a Chelsea fan. He doesn't believe Chelsea actually miss Noni Madueke in the team setup. We're straight into the 28th minute of this encounter. Throw into Manchester City. O'Reilly on the ball there. and he'll be looking to send out into the part of his teammates. We can also see Mikel Arteta looking disjointed on the bench there. Just wants to go. Everything is not working the way they want it, and that's going to be a throw in. Jeremy Doku having fun and enjoying himself. But all this matters, they put that ball into the back of the net because you don't want to write out Arsenal in a game of football. Riley with a long throw tries to play in Erling Haaland, but actually threw it straight into another throw in. And this time around is going to be an Arsenal throw in. Saliba on the ball here, looks inward into the midfield and finds his teammate Zubimendi, if I'm not mistaken. A long one there from Zubimendi, the Spanish international, and plays in Noni Madueke. Good takedown from Noni Madueke, but not enough to keep that ball in motion. So it's going to go out for a throw in to Manchester City against the Gunners. We're straight into the 29th minute, and it looks like Bukayo Saka is back, and we might be seeing him come into this game at a point, probably in the second half. We can also see Eberichi Eze warming up for the Gunners. So why is Eberichi Eze starting this game? Because I expected him to start this game for Christ's sake.
No, I expected him to start.
The captain is not available, and you have expected Eberichi Eze dropping into the attacking midfield position.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of some Arsenal fans have been complaining about Mikel Arteta's start, that he's too very stubborn. You've tried a midfield three of Declan Rice, Moreno, and what's his name again, the Spaniard. It hasn't worked. You tried it at the Anfield there. You tried it at also at Atletico Bilbao. You had to sacrifice one of those midfield before we got the goal in Bilbao there. But today now you are starting the game. Why you have a player that can come in and play as the number 10 there for you? Talking about Iberichi Eze in this game. So I think Mikel Arteta needs to quickly do something, because even from the midfield, that is where Manchester City took the ball and get the goal. So I'm surprised that Iberichi didn't start this game.
Okay, the clock is fast ticking in this one as we are straight into the half an hour mark. 30 minutes on second quarter in this account. It still was 0 Manchester City lead. Courtesy that goal scored by Erling Haaland in the 9th minute of this account. Who is going to get the second goal, or are we going to end the first half with just one goal all the time? With William Saliba on the ball there for the Gunners. He holds onto the ball there, which is out straight to the Brazilian Gabriel. Gabriel, who is the captain for Arsenal tonight, returns it back to William Saliba, and the finally returns it back to the goalkeeper David Raya. Raya holds onto the ball for the Gunners. What will he make out of that? Still holds onto it and comes forward with the ball, and he has Manchester City players around him and setting at the line against the Gunners. Finally, he chose to drop it into the path of Gabriel. Gabriel looks inward into the midfield of the park and finds his Arsenal teammate there. Beautiful piece of skill there from Zubimendi right there for the Gunners as they look to break out. Arsenal in possession. Julian Timber on the ball there, returns it back to William Saliba. Saliba looks inward into the midfield, finds his Arsenal teammate. Arsenal will look to attack against the Manchester City. Manchester City is setting a lot of blocks for these Gunners.
Yeah.
It has really been hard for them to break through the lines. There's a need for creativity in that middle of the park.
Yeah, and
that is what Iberichi Eze brings into this.
Yeah, and I think Arsenal too slow. You look at how they've been go from the back. They're very, very slow in transition there, and they need to be quicker, if you want to beat this Manchester City team.
All right, straight in 32nd minute, a throw in for the Gunners right there. And Scalafori, I think he'll fancy taking a long throw into deep into the Manchester City box, with this very chance for Arsenal to finally get an equalizer. A long throw from Calafori into the box there. And yeah, still Arsenal in possession. The Arsenal players asking for a penalty, but still Arsenal in possession of the ball. A long one into the box with that beat. Oh, but Nani Madueke. Was that
what kind of heading is this?
Calm down.
Gets across good, yeah. What a game of football. What a first 30 minutes we've had in this encounter. It's coming straight to you, Michael. We've seen 30 minutes in this game. Yes, still Manchester City leading 1-0. Do you think there's a penalty?
There's a push there.
No. I don't think so. You need to watch that.
No. There was a hand there.
That is a small push in the box.
That's a small push.
For Christ.
Yes.
How do you expect that to be?
All right, no problem. They say that's a small push.
I don't need it.
I understand. But we've seen where it touches like that.
That's not actually enough to be a penalty. Yes, Arsenal will actually take any kind of goal, any color of goal is what they want in this game. They just want to see the ball into the back of the net, and that's why they actually want that should be a penalty. It's a ball played in the air right now, and still being thrown around in the air. This finally be a throw. Yes, a throw into Gunnar Calafori, looking beautifully well with his out of the air there, takes a long throw there, finds his Arsenal teammate. Arsenal trying to play across the line. Manchester City clears the line. They are not interested in keeping that in play and playing beautiful football. A long one, trying to send Jeremy Doku across the line there, but Arsenal we gather the ball there. Yeah, it's Gabriel on the ball there, returns the back to reset from the goalkeeper David Raya, and Raya finds William Saliba. Saliba on the ball for the Gunners, comes forward and drops it straight into the middle of the park, and Zubi has to come deep to win the ball for the Gunners. Arsenal in possession, switches wing and pulls Julian Timber on the run there. Julian Timber holds onto the ball there. And what will he make out of that? Still holds onto it as a Noni Madueke chose to go through Noni Madueke's wing. And Noni Madueke has a player name, but chose to return his back into the middle of the park. And Marino on the ball there, looks in what there. Gabriel on the ball. What will he make out of that? Is it fancy a shot there? But just to return his back into his part of his teammates here. Yesterday, the Gunners are playing across the line and looking to break through or open up the Manchester City midfield. Still Arsenal enjoying the better share of possession for the past 3 minutes of this encounter, with a turn possession into goals in this encounter. It's still 1-0. Manchester City leading in this encounter as we get straight into the 35th minute. War is going to get a second goal. Arsenal in possession, attacking right now and onto the park there. That is Leonardo Trossard on the ball there, returns it into the middle of the park and finds his teammate here. Still Arsenal in possession. Well, you guys enjoy more possession this time around, but still playing across the line, not into the box.
Yeah, definitely. And the kind of possession ball they've been playing, to me, I'm not enjoying it. You just keeping, passing, the ball around, not creating real, goal scoring chances.
Yes, Michael. When the Chelsea game against Manchester United was on, I could see how much pressure you were in that game. So I can also understand whatever Paulo is going through in this game. As Arsenal still in possession, they're enjoying the better share of possession for the past 5 minutes of this encounter. Looking at the statistics, yes, it's actually resumed. Arsenal having 67% of the ball, and Manchester City being reduced to just 33% of the ball in this encounter, which shows why Arsenal are dominating. It's rare to see Pep Guardiola and his boys being dominated on passes. Arsenal has completed 200 passes in this game, while Manchester City have only managed 109 passes in the entirety of this game, but still 0 shot on target for Arsenal in the opening 35 minutes of this game. It shows how much the Manchester City midfield and defense has shot the Arsenal boys behind their box. And we have to ask ourselves about Victor Gyökeres. We've not seen much from him in this game. His presence hasn't really been felt.
Yeah, and you look at I think the midfield is the reason why his presence hasn't really been fair. You look at because Mikel Merino is the one that is supposed to feed him with those balls particularly, but so far you look at him, he's always low on the ball. I think he prefers even himself being in the box now rather than dropping into the midfield. And Mikel Arteta need to work out something very fast. Probably bring on Iberechi is to help distribute those passes and hopefully find Victor Gyökeres.
Okay, we have the first yellow card in this game, and it goes straight into the hands of Bernardo Silva, the Portuguese midfielder, getting the first yellow card in the 35th minute of this encounter. With straight injury, 37th minute, throw into Manchester City. They are not in a rush to restart this game, and O'Reilly will be taking that throw in for Manchester City. Promising lad who has made a starting. I know he's not available, right? Yeah. That's why we're having O'Reilly starting for Manchester City, but he has actually not looked out of place since deputizing for O'Reilly. Just the same way we saw Arsenal depend on Lewis Kelly last season when Calafiori wasn't available. And yes, he had a very fantastic season last season. I don't think it's justifiable for Calafiori to be starting over Lewis Kelly.
So far, with the way Calafiori has been playing this season, I think it's justifiable. He has started brilliantly. Even California, when he started, he joined Arsenal last season. He started brilliantly. Also, I remember he's one of the goal scorers against Manchester City. In fact, he scored Arsenal first goal at Anfield there. But after some few games, he picked up that injury. He couldn't make it back into the team again when he came back from those injuries. But right now, he's back to stake claim to his position there. And
that is dangerous at the back there.
Wow.
Because of that won't come to art. Manchester City as they look to break out from the back. But Arsenal's really grown into this game because they've confused Manchester City. They've destructed all Manchester City's pattern. Manchester City now having to work with the older play of Erling Haaland. Yeah, might just be a chance, and yeah, he's on Jeremy Doku on the ball there. He fancies himself in the box there. Will this be a chance for a second goal? Still Jeremy Doku in possession.
Please now,
One too many touch on the ball there. Still holds onto it, and then finally drops a pass. But that pass should have come in early as possible. Rodri with the follow-up shot, but that shot actually, and look at this older play from Erling Haaland. I think that is going to be a big problem for the Gunners. This time around, he's not staying in the box and waiting for the ball. He's walking around, he's playing around the middle of the park and causing a lot of confusion and dragging out the Arsenal centre-backs around him to create a lot of openings for the Manchester City wingers. But let's see how Manchester City takes advantage of that. We've also not really seen much from Phil Foden in this encounter. A long one there from the Gunners, but that's one trouble. Donnarumma, the Italian goalkeeper, as Victor Gyökeres couldn't get onto that ball. I don't know why we've not seen much from Victor Gyökeres. Because I remember him at Sporting Lisbon. It's always a joy to watch against Manchester City.
Yeah, you could see the kind of pattern they play from Sporting. They try to they kick the ball very long to him, but yeah, that's now they try to move the ball from the back, not unlike to the midfield and before finding. But at Sporting, the ball is kicked, probably because they play with a lot of they play similar to like what they play with at Manchester United now. So they cross those balls to him, and he's very good also when he chases the ball. But with us now, they are not utilizing his strength so far to me.
Okay, let's see if the Gunners will finally be able to utilize the strengths of Victor Gyökeres. He hasn't really looked bad since joining Arsenal from Sporting Lisbon in the Portuguese league. He actually forced the move away from Sporting Lisbon, which some of Arsenal fans, or almost all Arsenal fans, really celebrated. He was torn between moving to Manchester United. Talking about Manchester United, the striker they finally got, Šeško, 5 EPL games, still no goal for Benjamin Šeško.
Yeah, and talking about
Benjamin Šeško, he could have been an Arsenal player today. Why? What's his name now? The one at Arsenal now would have been at Manchester United. So far, he hasn't, get into it. And you look at right from when he joined, he was constantly put on the bench for like 2 or 3 games before he finally got his start. But so far, he hasn't been able to, register a goal.
Yeah, might just be a chance for Arsenal to finally register one into the box. With this big cross, Calafori on the ball there and drops it on the line there. Cross into the box there, but Manchester City cross the line. Nolimat. Couldn't get that shot. He should be doing better from that position there because he's a winger. He find himself in that situation.
Is there a corner kick there?
Let's see if
that's a goal kick.
Should be a goal kick. And 3 goals this season for Victor Gyökeres since joining Arsenal, and he's Arsenal top scorer this season in the APL. And we also have Julian Timber, who has 2 goals for the Gunners this season. But the leader right now has to be Erling Haaland with 6 goals in the APL. What a season!
6 or 7 now?
It should be 6.
Okay.
Came into this game with 5.
Yeah,
so
6.
Is the 6th goal. It's a corner kick to Arsenal there. Their 4th corner kick in this first half, and still 0 corner kick to Manchester City in this game. Declan Rice on this corner kick duties. He's always a dead ball specialist from corner kicks. So sends it into the box there. But the height of the goalkeeper, Donnarumma, there coming to the rescue for Manchester City. That is the difference between Manchester City of last season and Manchester City of this season. There is a kind of confidence you have when you have a tall, lanky, a good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You hardly see goalkeepers in the EPL come in and cause trouble for Arsenal from the corner kicks.
Yeah, and not that they don't come out, cause trouble, but you look at most of them, they are not as huge or tall as Donnarumma, and you look at this kind of punch he made there.
I always complaining of time wasting from Donnarumma whenever he sets the ball down for a goal kick.
Yeah, he's sure definitely try to also waste some time with the ball. We saw it with the ball, the other goal kick there, or how he was.
Last night I was leading. You guys also were good too.
Definitely, all teams do that, and rightfully all managers also complain. We saw what happened at the Merseyside derby yesterday. Where the Everton manager was complaining about time, maybe the time that was added. It's all about still time and time. So all teams, does that. So I think it's right for Mikel Arteta also to, make those kind of complaints.
All right, straight into the 43rd minute. Arsenal in possession of the ball there, almost setting themselves straight on chance up to getting their equalizer, but still the Gunners who have finally grown into this game and dominating possession against Manchester City. Yes, Julian Timber across into the box with that beat. Another corner kick for the Gunners if possible, no. But they keep the ball in play there. Leonardo Trossard finds Calafori. Calafori drops it straight into the path of his teammate there. And here's a chance for Leonardo to send it cross into the box. Almost peeled there by Manchester City. You can see how deep Eli Haaland is coming to defend for Manchester City. Manchester City looking to break on the counter, but Arsenal making all that really hard for them in this counter. Finally, Manchester City in possession with this great chance to break on the counter.
I think it should be offside. I think the offside.
Minutes of this encounter. We can see Ruben Diaz toppling up the goalkeeper for a beautiful piece of skill, a beautiful piece of work done there by the goalkeeper. Julian Timber with that inviting cross. Look at that cross from Timber there. That was a good inviting cross there. And if Ruben Diaz had missed that ball, it probably would have been a good chance for the Gunners. But I think that was the offside being blown there by the referee. So it's going to be a restart from Manchester City, and it's Donnarumma who will be kicking this deep into Arsenal's half of the pitch. Manchester City trying to grow into this game, but Arsenal dominating possession everywhere on the pitch and making it hard for Manchester City to play their pattern of football in this encounter. Only time will tell if Arsenal will be turning dominance into goal. Yeah, he's not the Madueke. He has one to beat and he's find himself in one of his favorite pool. That was almost into it. Turns it back and finds out. Yeah, it's not the Madueke. He crosses into the box and beats his man and sends the cross into the box. Big and save there from the goalkeeper and carries
Just calm down.
His countryman there.
Calm down.
Back of this.
You are not scoring a goal here.
Yeah. There was anything more.
No, I don't think he should have crossed that ball as high. You already beat him there. Just
Look at the replay again.
in there.
He did fantastically well there, but I wasn't expecting him to cross that ball.
As high again, because what I'm saying that is that Manchester City have a goalkeeper that is very huge, tall, and he can come out and claim those kind of. You could saw with the ball, he crossed in there.
All right, straight into the 45th minute, the last minute in the first half regulation time. We'll be seeing how much minutes will be added by the referee. I won't be expecting much. I think probably 2 to 3 minutes might just be enough. Coming, but it has been a positive performance from Arsenal since conceding that goal. They've grown into this game and dominated Manchester City from every corner of the pitch.
Yeah, but getting the vital point is the issue so far now. But they've been dominating from left to right, even in the middle of the park. But so far dominance down to 3.
What is certain in this game that Arsenal is surely going to get a goal against Manchester City? All right, straight. It's the 45th minute mark there, and we're going straight into additional time. How many minutes will be added by the fourth official? We have 4 minutes additional time still to play in this first half, and yeah, it's Julian Timber on the ball for the Gunners and returns it and finds his teammates. Yeah, it's up through the line. It is not Nani Madueke on the ball with this brilliant chance for the goal. And the woodwork to the rescue this time around. Another corner kick.
Donnarumma rather. I think that should be Donnarumma there making that save.
That is the woodwork.
See that again. Look at it.
We have a world best goalkeeper. Don't think about getting a goal here.
Let's see that again. Oh, it's a big save. It's a big save from Donnarumma. Yeah, that is what you get when you have a good, fantastic goalkeeper like the Italian in your goal post. The corner kicks rather for Arsenal there, and it's Nani Madueke who's standing on this and sends an in-swinger into the box. That will have been the equalizer. Arsenal looking threatening from the set pieces. Nani Madueke back in possession. He chose to hold on to the ball there. And what will he make out of that? Will he be taking O'Reilly on and across into the box with this very chance? Arsenal trying to keep that in check. But Gabriel, yes, finally keeps that. Or is it to an Arsenal player? Yeah, finally goes to an Arsenal player and into the middle of the park there finds the Christian Zubimendi there. As straight into the path of Moreno. Moreno on the ball there, straight to Nani Madueke. I think this has to be Arsenal's favorite wing, and the wing that looks open for them to actually make use of. Jeremy Doku, he's playing fire there.
Ooh, that's go kick. Go kick.
I think should be go kick.
Go kick. Yeah.
And I think Nani Madueke has been very, very isolated.
He has been isolated.
No, but the Arsenal players, they were loaded. Yes, but
Arsenal in this game has been Julian Timber and Merino. If only we can get this kind of liveliness on this right
other side of the attack,
on the left side of the right side of Arsenal's attack. Also, that side has Calafori and Leonardo Trossard. That's why I'm looking like, yes, probably will be an early substitution in the second half. It might be Trossard being withdrawn for Iberici Eze in this encounter.
I don't think Trossard should be withdrawn. If Trossard should be withdrawn, I don't think it should be for Iberici. I think it should be for Martinelli coming in on and what's his name? Merino should be withdrawn for Iberici balance the midfield there.
Okay, it's left to see which substitutions the Arsenal manager talking about Mikel Arteta will favor coming into the second half of this encounter as we're straight into the 48 minutes mark in this game. Just 1 more minute to play in the first half additional time. And you can see the players, they all look walked out.
This is a red card.
There's been an issue there.
This is a red card offense. You don't retaliate back.
You're always wanting violence. You're always wanting the red card.
Referee, do something, please.
Well, let's see what's going to happen. What the referees decides there. But I think he kicked the ball onto the Arsenal Manchester City player who is currently down. It might just be a yellow card for the Arsenal player. Is VR having a check on that? Let's say VR is having a.
Is that not Leandro Trossard?
I think it's more of Leandro Trossard.
That's a serious foul.
And the last time he faced Manchester City, I mean, the first leg he was sent off in that game. Yeah. But I don't think this should be, Manchester City also, trying to make sure if they end the game here because of the time also.
It's likely going to be a yellow card to Trossard. Because there was no point, there was no need of kicking that ball.
You just have to check the replay again, but I don't think that's not a red card.
Let's wait for VR.
The center referee having words with the two captains on the pitch. There is the center referee. It's Stott Atwell. A known manager in the EPL. Is it going to have a view with a VR? But I don't think.
There's no any.
I told you. This is a red card offense.
There's no red card, and there's no even a VR call there also.
Oh, he also got the ball on his. He got the ball on him first.
You see, he had to throw the ball back on and he went down. So this is
not much for it. It's not a red card. Probably a yellow card might be what we're seeing here.
I think it will be both. So
no yellow card to either.
If the referee is going to issue and the trouser, it's definitely going to, because he threw the ball in the exact same spot where the player was. It's not that the player was just coming; the player was already there.
The ball wasn't a hard ball on what's it called on this on Bernardo Silva. That should have been a card affair. But I think the referee got it right there. No cards to either of the player. Bernardo Silva is already on a yellow card.
It's even the one that was throwing. That is a Ojoro
for a free kick.
But at the same time, you threw it.
But same way, I also believe that should have been a yellow card for what's it called for the Arsenal player, because it wasn't an aggressive throwing of the ball. You don't do that. The long ball, yeah, straight to Erling Haaland. Haaland on the ball there. He has Saliba to beat there, and Haaland holds onto the ball. You can still see the Gunners manager asking for the time. Yes, we've overused them. The 4 minutes additional time. The older play from Erling Haaland in this first half has really been fantastic for the Norwegian striker. I think this might just be one of the last piece of action in this first half as we're getting straight into the 50th mark of this encounter. Will this be the last attack? Arsenal with a throw-in. The referee allows plays to continue. Says he's still enjoying this game between Arsenal and Manchester City. Emotions growing in this game between the players in the dying embers of this game. Arsenal with one of their last piece of attack, but Manchester City wins the ball back and sends a long one to Jeremy Doku. Doku on the ball there for Manchester City. What will he make out of that? He has Julian Timber to beat, and this might just be Manchester City's first corner kick of the game.
Yeah.
Is there time for the corner kick to be played?
I think,
like the says no, it's half time already.
Yeah,
that looks more like a controversial call to me. Since the ball went out for a corner kick, probably he should have allowed Manchester City play their corner kick before calling it an halftime break. And those like the Arsenal player who has been in lightning ship in this first half might have been Noni Madueke. What we saw we saw Bukayo Saka warming up on the bench. If there's going to be a player who might be withdrawn for Bukayo Saka, it might be Noni Madueke.
But you look at how Madueke has been playing this game so far. Is one of the retread Arsenal have on the pitch. They do. One thing I've also observed is that I think the Manchester City defender, they keep using his strength, to push him off the ball, and you can't do that easily with Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka he might be looking like he has a small stature, but is very, very strong on the ball there, which Noni Madueke hasn't tried to use. Noni Madueke tries to use his space because we know he's quicker. But the Manchester City defender there has been very, very brilliant. Trying to time and read how he's going to move with the ball. Except from where we saw him, cut the player, the defender back there. But I think Mikel Arteta, if he wants to bring on Bukayo Saka, he should be looking for a way to accommodate at least both of them for the first probably 10 minutes of the introduction of Bukayo Saka. But the problem now is, probably Noni Madueke have to switch to the other side. So if you are going to bring on Bukayo Saka, which to me I don't think he should be bringing in on first. He should be bringing on Eze and Martinelli in this game.
Okay, so it's left to see which of those two players. That was how I predicted yesterday also that yes, the Chelsea manager should be bringing on what's it called, Garnacho and Chevy Gittins. At the end of the day, it's it's to the managers of the season.
And one thing about some of those managers, they're always very stubborn.
All right, and also talking about in the CAF Confederation Cup, it's going bad, very, really bad for the Nigerian representative there, Kwara United, as they are currently losing to Ashanti Kotoko.
I don't think it's very bad. It's 3-2 now.
3-2 right
3-2 now, yeah.
Okay, yes, in the 65th minute. Yeah, if they're still taking a 1-goal deficit back to Nigeria, that might be good for them. But Ashanti Kotoko, they've been one of those traditional sides. They are not newcomers when it comes to playing on continental, unlike Kwara United, who I can't really remember the last time they played continental football.
Yeah, and for Asante Kotoko also, they have been, like you said, one of the powerhouse. But for some time now, they've also been struggling. Also, they hardly made it to the main stages of the competition. But you always find them in the playoffs, around the playoffs. But this time around, if they need to win convincingly to at least this is leg. One thing that is going on, that is going to count for Remo. Kwara United now is that they are playing the first leg and away in Ghana. And in African football, the goals you score count for you. And so far now they've been able to score 2 goals. I just hope they can, if you can't get the equalizer, don't concede more again.
Okay. Also talking about the champions, the defending champions of the Nigerian Premier Football League, Remo Stars, they are currently 2 goals up in the 64th minute against Zimanju of Comoros on the league standing. So
I think that one is done and dusted for them.
Zilimanju 0 as it stands in that counter. So back to the Gunners game, which is currently at halftime. Arsenal trailing 1-0 at home against Manchester City. Erling Haaland with the only goal. We've not really seen Manchester City since that goal scored by the Gunners, and that is why let's look at what happens on the statistics. Yes, Arsenal dominating the whole of the first half, 68% of the ball, and Manchester City also reduced to just 32% of the ball in this first half. That is so much unlike Pep Guardiola and his team.
Yeah, more especially against a team like Arsenal. We know Manchester City usually dominate, possession, but so far they've surrendered possession to Arsenal in this game. Apart from that goal, and probably one of two chances we saw, more especially the one with Jeremy Doku, where he could have released the pass or take the shot on time. Aside from that, it's been Arsenal. But the problem is that Arsenal is really threatening the Manchester City defense, just playing the ball from left to right. Finding Noni Madueke, who I still feel is too isolated when especially is with the ball. Isolated, I mean by Arsenal players not coming close to quickly before you see an Arsenal player come. There's already 2 players try to close him down. That is why Mikel Arteta needs to remove what's his name now, Mikel Merino there, because he's the one that is supposed to quickly come to cover there. But so far they just supply him those balls, and he tried to take on the players there, but at the end of the day it's still not working. So Arsenal needs to start turning this possession football they are playing into dominance, and making sure that the ball is at the back of the net.
Okay, looking at the other scorelines and other results from other leagues, we go straight to the Italian Serie A, where Lazio, with 2 men down, having picked up 2 red cards in that game, lost at home to AS Roma 1-0. It ended in that game. Cremonese and Parma played out a 0-0 draw, and Torino lost at home to Atalanta 3-0. We finally saw Ademola Lookman being thrown into that game at the 87th minute, so we'll be expecting to see more of the Nigerian winger.
Yeah, I was so happy when I saw him on the lineup. I think that should be for the very first time this season. And I want to believe you've already also missed him, because look at how Atalanta started the season, not only
he came in the 7th minute.
Yeah, I mean overall so far this season they've not been that good. They've lost some games and they've been struggling. And so happy, when I saw him on the bench, and I have the belief that he's definitely going to come on. And he came on, though they didn't need his service again because they're already running out 3 goals up then. So, but hopefully, gradually, we expect to see him starting game because he's still the reigning African champion.
Yes.
You cannot be African champion being exiled, away from the team. African footballer of the year, rather being exiled. That's not good for him and for Nigerian football, for Nigeria also as a country.
Okay, the other game between Florentina and Como. That game is in the 26th minute, and it's Florentina leading 1-0 against Como. Also in the Spanish La Liga, we also saw Rayo Vallecano played out a 1-1 draw against Celta Vigo. Mallorca held them Atletico Madrid to a 1-1 draw in that encounter. And still to come is Barcelona against Getafe. Also in the German Bundesliga, where Frankfurt are losing 4-3 against Union Berlin. Leverkusen against Mönchengladbach. That game is at halftime. It's 0-0. And also in the French Ligue 1, we saw Paris FC lost up 3-2 to Strasbourg. And also AS Monaco are currently leading against Metz up 2-1 in that encounter. So a lot of interesting games going on around Europe, and not just Europe, even in Africa, as we've seen in some games. Okay. We'll go for a quick breather. And when we come back, it's going to be the start of the second half.
Hello, all right. Welcome to Managerial Changes and Football Manchester fans and football lovers.
But today, there's no way to hide.
Still talking. Sunday's blockbuster is Arsenal tonight. Manchester City every match. Today, Chelsea football conversation. I'm your host, and I'm looking sharp at the Arsenal, Patetas, and the insurance.
Okay, welcome back from that quick breather, and we're back to talking about the game between Arsenal and Manchester City, which is currently at halftime. It's Arsenal losing 1-0 or trailing 1-0 at home as it stands on right now. So we talk about Manchester City right now, and Michael will be doing justice to talking about Manchester City's performance in the first half. Yes, Michael, we've seen 45 minutes from the Gunners, from Manchester City. Just one goal scored by Erling Haaland, but not really a convincing performance to me from Manchester City. Though you also said that Manchester City are going to win this game, you favor a victory for Manchester City. Not just a victory, you also favor a hat-trick from Erling Haaland. Do you think you still get 2 more goals in this game?
Of course. I think in this kind of match, I personally miss Mamouche. Yeah. So I think the hold-up play within Mamouche and Haaland is top-notch this season. I think as a Manchester City fan, I'm still expecting more goals.
Oh yeah, Manchester City fan. Not a Chelsea fan.
No, for today. For today, I'm a Manchester City fan. Yeah.
Manchester City goalkeeper Donnarumma. This is the second game in the EPL and third game for Manchester City. We saw them got James Trafford from Burnley. Do you think right now, what do you think should be going on in the head of James Trafford?
Yeah, I think I could remember probably 1 or 2 the last, if not probably a few weeks ago when we talked about the goalkeeper situation at Manchester City. And I talked about how James Trafford will be feeling very frustrated with the arrival of what's his name now, Gianluigi Donnarumma, because he was brought in from Burnley. I think he was about going to another club, but Manchester City had to.
Newcastle.
Manchester City had to use.
Will he be benching Nick Pope?
But he will have a real chance compared to right. Because he was going to Newcastle, but Manchester City said no, because they have the option to bring him, and they even paid more than what Newcastle was expected to pay, about 40 million euros or more, if I'm correct, to bring him. And he had all the hope believes that he's going to take the number one spot, because he started the first 2-3 games for them as
one of the games.
Yeah, they lost, but that was not his first. You could see he made tremendous saves. But I could remember against Brighton and over beyond that. They lost the game, but those goals were not his fault. It was a result of bad, defending. Now, with what is his name now, Donnarumma being in the market, and Manchester City saw the opportunity, and they quickly swooped for him. If PSG didn't put Donnarumma in the market, Ederson will still be at Manchester City today, and he will be on the bench. Why? What's his name? Trafford will be starting, because once Pep Guardiola, decided to start you, and that's we saw him with last season, even when at the time the guy now, the former Manchester, trying to remember his name, the goalkeeper that left Manchester City. Not Ederson, the other Ortega. At the time,
is Ortega out of Manchester City?
I think so. I think he's out of Manchester City. He was putting the other one on the bench, but for me, Trafford will be feeling very, very disappointed, because Gianluigi Donnarumma is a goalkeeper that is going to be there for a very long time, still very young as a goalkeeper, and unless maybe injury.
Okay, let's go straight to Arsenal's on bench before the start of the second half. There's a goalkeeper, Kepa Arrizabalaga, who switched from Chelsea's on bench to Arsenal's on bench in the EPL. We also have a Christian Mosquera, another fine centre-back who has been penciled down as a replacement or a deputy for William Saliba. There's Ben White, there's Mills, Lewis Kelly on the bench, Christian Nogard. There's also Ethan Nwaneri, Bukayo Saka, Iberichi Eze, and Gabriel Martinelli. Still 5 substitutions to be used by the Gunners in the second half of this game. Which players do you think are capable of coming into this game and formifying the Arsenal's midfield? Yeah,
there are two options here. You can bring on to help the midfield there, and you have a Iberichi Eze, or you either bring on Nwaneri. Though some people will say he's still very young, but you look at how he has been playing, he has been growing into the games with confidence. And I think if Mikel Arteta doesn't want Eze to play from the midfield, then bring on Nwaneri, to come and help distribute the ball. And we know Nwaneri, he knows how to drive, carries the ball very forward, and he needs to come in, or probably Eze, but I would prefer bringing on Eze in that midfield to help the midfield there.
I think it's just Manchester City, but it's not being called on to games for now, is what we're just saying there. Okay, straight to Manchester City's on bench, which Michael will be doing justice to that for us, and see which of those players on the bench he thinks might be coming up for Manchester City and change, or also put Manchester City back in the frame of this game. They are leading, but they are also losing possession to Arsenal. On the bench, we have James Trafford, the goalkeeper. There's John Stones. There's Nathan Ake, defender. Rico Lewis is also on the bench. Nico Gonzalez, Savinho, Matheus Nunes, Oscar Bob, and Divine Mukasa. This is not a stronger bench for Manchester City. I think they have the best of their players starting this game.
Yeah, they have so many injury players this season. So I think that might affect their season.
I don't think they have too many injury players.
Of course they do.
Look at this. There's Riyad Atnori, there's Omar Mamouche, there's Mateo Kovacic. Calvin Phillips might just be the
going
only
forward.
name.
Yeah, going forward, yeah. They have so many injury players. So many.
But Ryan Cherki hasn't been tested at Manchester
No,
City.
he got injured in, I think, the second.
Yes, he got injured.
What I mean is that he hasn't been tested with Manchester City for us to be able to determine.
But he's a top player.
He's a top player, I accept, but I don't think he's out injured going forward. But apart from Omar Mamouche, we've seen him a lot with him.
Riyad Atnori out injured.
Defensively,
also. Yes, defensively. We also have Mateo Kovacic out injured. And on the side of Arsenal, there's Kai Havertz, who is out injured. There's Gabriel Jesus, and there's also the captain Martin Odegaard out injured for the Gunners in this encounter. We also have seen Arsenal make a first half halftime substitution there. Wow. 2 players are being thrown into this game. We can see Iberichi Eze thrown into the game, and also Bukayo Saka also thrown into this encounter at the start of the second half. These are 2 quality players the Gunners manager is throwing into this game. And do you think this is the right substitution? Because we can see Nani Madueke, he was lively in the first half, but he has been withdrawn in this game.
Yeah, he has been withdrawn. It's very hard for him to accommodate both of them on the field of play. Mikel Arteta, if he's serious, to get at least something from this game, make a substitution right from the start of the whistle in the second half, which he has done. But the players has decided to withdraw, take a winner. Maybe what's his name? The Madueke. So feeling very sorry or very bad for him because he has been very, very lively in this game. So, but let's say Bukayo Saka, handle this game because he's just coming back after missing about 3 games, if I'm correct, for Arsenal.
Okay, yes, there's going to be a big second half to come from Manchester City and Arsenal in this game because we can see the 2 players are thrown into this encounter by the Arsenal manager, Eberichi Eze, and also Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka happens to be Arsenal best player. Merino also been withdrawn in this game.
Which I called,
he called that. So Zubimendi, is he moving attacking wise, or will we having Declan Rice switching to
I think what's his name? Zubimendi will be playing as the defensive. Why? What's his name? Will be playing as the number 10, allowing the other guy play as the number 8. Yeah, in this game.
Yeah, let's see that. And also, it looks like Manchester City will also be preparing an halftime substitute in this account. So yes, that is the confirmation. Manchester City also throwing a player into this game at halftime. Both sides making halftime substitutions, and that is Matheus and Nunes coming in for Kusanov. I think Kusanov got injured during the course of the first half.
Yeah, and it has been very, very brilliant, in this game. So unfortunate that he had to be withdrawn, probably due to the knocked pick, but he had to manage and complete the halftime.
Okay, that's the restart of the second half. Arsenal in possession, taking a long one. We're expecting a better performance from Mikel Arteta's boys as their talisman. That man that the go-to man for Arsenal, Bukayo Saka, is on the pitch right now. So let's see what Bukayo Saka will be bringing in for the Gunners in this encounter. But right now, it's Manchester City in possession. Jeremy Doku on the ball there, cut inward as Julian Timber. That is the only way. That is actually the only way to take out.
But he knows that if he goes out,
whenever
pick up a yellow card.
Switches on against you and beats you on the pace, there's no holding. He's a fantastic player whenever he comes to this. The only problem I might be having with Jeremy Doku is putting the ball into the back of the net. But when it comes to the pace and also the skill aspect of it, he's a technical player. That is what he has done, and it's advantage on Manchester City right now, putting Julian Timber on a yellow card because he's probably we'll be seeing Jeremy Doku having a field day against Julian Timber right now. Michael, your expectations for the second half?
Yeah, I told you in the first half, as a Manchester City fan, expect 3 goals from Haaland.
Okay.
He has already scored 1 goal, so I'm not seeing Arsenal doing anything this match.
All right, let's see if this is going to happen. It's Manchester City in possession. Bernardo Silva on the ball there. The slicky Portuguese midfielder look inward into the middle of the park and finds Rodri. Rodri losing possession in a dicey situation. Yeah, he's the Arsenal striker Victor Gyökeres switching off and dropping straight into the path of Bukayo Saka. Saka cutting inward for the Gunners there and looks and finds Eberichi Eze, who has slotted in as the attacking midfielder for Arsenal right now, and he goes on to the wing where he finds Leandro Trossard. Trossard looks inward, backward, and finds Declan Rice. Declan Rice holds onto the ball for the Gunners, switches and finds the former Brighton and the Belgium winger Leonardo Trossard. Trossard on the ball for the Gunners, switches and returns back and finds Gabriel. Gabriel finds his teammate there, William Saliba, who looks inward and finds Zubimendi. Returns it back to Saliba. Saliba finds Gabriel. Gabriel with the ball there finds Leonardo Trossard. Trossard cuts inward with the ball for the Gunners, switches a long one there, plays in Bukayo Saka. Good pick down from Bukayo Saka. He has Jeremy Doku to beat a cross into the box without beat for Gunners there, and still Arsenal in possession. That should be the equalizer, but Zubimendi couldn't keep his shot down and inside there. But beautiful pick up from the Gunners to start the second half of this way. That yes, they are looking for that equalizer, not just equalizer. They want to win this game. Beautiful control there from Bukayo Saka. He has Jeremy Doku to beat there, and he sent a long one there, almost sliced there by the Manchester City defenders. And I will expect Zubimendi doing better from this angle.
Yeah, but
he had all the time to pick his spots.
Yeah, and, that was not too wide, but the Manchester City player, they're quickly coming on to close that channel down there.
And we've not really seen much from Foden also in this game.
Honestly,
he has been a bit quiet in this encounter for my liking.
And I think he's the one playing as the number 10 in this game for Manchester City.
It's left to see what time goals in this one. Will Arsenal be staging a comeback that looks to be the brighter side in the second half of the second half? Still 1-0 Manchester City leading in this one away from home, playing at the Emirates Stadium. Erling Haaland's 9 minutes goal is the difference between both sides, but Arsenal looking the better side and taking the pressure to Manchester City in the second half. Gabriel with the ball there, holds onto it. What will he make of that? Returns it into the midfield where we have the Arsenal midfielder who comes in deep to win the ball there. William Saliba on the ball there for Arsenal. Yeah, Manchester City players are not in a rush to come out to attack, and we're gradually getting straight into the first 5 minutes of the second half. And looking at the way Arsenal have approached the second half, are you comfortable? Are you okay right now?
Well, so far it's a few minutes so far, and I expected them to start brilliantly, which they've done. Created a chance there, but couldn't get that one at the back of the net. So, not a bad start so far in this second half.
Okay, yeah, that is not a bad start for Arsenal in the second half. Yeah, he's Zubimendi on the ball there, finds Leonard Trossard. Yeah, might just be a chance for Arsenal to go out and attack against this Manchester City side. Berechese with a shot there, big save there from Donnarumma. That is the kind of shot I expected from Zubimendi the other time when he was presented with that chance for Arsenal. Still Arsenal finding a way to break out, but Donnarumma will come out to gather this right now. And that is what happens when you have a fantastic goalkeeper. Look at that shot from Berechese. On a good day, that is going into the back of the net. But no, I think that was a direct shot also.
It was a direct shot, towards him. Only
good control, a good chest down from him, and good jump shots also from Berechese. But Donnarumma actually quenched the fire of that ball. And we're straight in the 50th minute. A lot of fireworks in the second half of this game.
Yeah, at least had the first shot on target now in this game. Yeah.
For the whole of the first 45 minutes, no shot on target from us.
I think we had shot on target, but it came very, very late.
So like us now. Okay. Let's see if there was a shot on target in the first half from beginners. No, this is the first shot on target in the second half.
We had one shot on target in the first half. Okay. This is the first one in the second half.
All right, so let's see if this is the first.
And it came very late.
You had the other shot on target in the first half, so it's the first of many shots on target in the second half for Mikel Arteta and his boys. And yeah, he's on Manchester City back in possession. They are struggling to hold on to the ball in this game. Still back when returns it back to Jeremy Doku. Doku looks inward and finds returns back to O'Reilly. O'Reilly finds Jeremy Doku. Doku asks Julian Timber to beat. Julian Timber, don't forget, he's on the yellow card. But this time around, these two Arsenal players both matching up onto Jeremy Doku and forcing him into making a pass into the middle of the park where he finds Rodri. Back is the Ghana. Manchester City in possession of the ball. Yes, Ruben Diaz on the ball there finds Minis Nunes. Bernardo Silva rather. He's back to the goalkeeper Donnarumma, who holds onto the ball there. Donnarumma not wanting to make any mistake in this encounter there. Finds that the Manchester City player was brought in, Matheus Nunes, who lost the ball right now. It's an Arsenal attack there. Leonard Trossard there drops it inward into the middle of the park. Zubimendi who finds Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka is always wanting to cut inward there. Might just be a chance. The Gunners players asking for a penalty. Probably there was an amber there, but referee allows plays to continue, which I'm very sure VAR will be having a recheck on that if there was actually an amber in the box. Still Arsenal in possession. We have Declan Rice on the ball there, looks inward and finds his Arsenal teammate here. Zachary Fori, if I'm not mistaken. Arsenal taking a lot of pressure onto Manchester City right now.
Yeah, and we just the pressure is much, but you need to
it needs to turn into a goal. But it's a corner kick. You can see the Arsenal fans they are jubilating about that.
No, at least it was something. I think it was too slow. I think it was too slow.
Like a goal opportunity for Arsenal.
No, I think he won something instead of
start from Eddie.
Start from Eddie. And good cover up there from I think Eberechi. He was coming on to help the defense and
Foden was free there. He should be passing to Foden in that moment, in that situation there.
He's the number 9 and he's full of confidence.
This is not from an angle I was expecting to score. David Raya is the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but the ball was on his right foot. I mean, his best foot there, so he was expecting he could have take that one. And if not for what's his name now, Eberechi that came for to clear the rebounds. Probably the other guy there could have easily tapped in that one.
Yes, the corner kick to Manchester City's Phil Foden was starting on this corner kick duties for Manchester City. We have Eddie Laland in the box. There's also Vadoy in the box, and a lot of players, of quality players who are good when it comes to area threats from Manchester City. It's still 1-0 in this game as we are approaching the 58 minutes. A long one into the box. There are still no Manchester City player, but yeah, might just be a transfer. Vadoy finds Jeremy Doku. Doku in the box there tries to send one into the box, but that should be a corner kick offside call against Jeremy Doku. The pressure, I can see the pressure mounting on all Arsenal fans right now.
I think City need to get a second goal.
Yeah, there's a need to get a second goal.
Yeah.
But Arsenal are not really opening up for them to try and get that second goal. Arsenal coming forward, losing the ball in the middle of the park. Manchester City in possession as they look to break out against the Gunners. Even the Manchester City players, I think I'll be using more of Jeremy Doku's wing, because that wing has been working the magic for them rather than using the Foden's wing. And probably Pep Guardiola should also be looking at his bench and be throwing in Savinho into the game probably when it gets to the 65th or 70th minute of this encounter. Still to come in the Italian Serie where we have Inter Milan against Sassuolo, and that game is at 7:45 p.m. HA has also one goal up against Real Oviedo in the 20th minute of that Spanish La Liga game. It's still 0-0 between Mönchengladbach and Leverkusen, and that game is in the 63rd minute of asking. And here is Arsenal. Bukayo Saka looking very much lively since coming into this game in the second half. Another corner kick for Arsenal.
I think that should be a good kick.
Is it a good kick?
That's a good kick, yeah.
It's a good kick. Follow with an important block there.
Oh, is it a corner kick? No, I think it's
a good kick.
Goal kick. I just have to confirm it. I think it should be.
Let's see the confirmation of that. It's a corner kick. Yeah, it's a corner kick to the Gunners right there. As a look up to come back in this one. Arsenal still looking for that needed equalizer against Manchester City. I can see it in your face. The confidence is growing.
Well, to be honest, with the way we've been playing, it's just that disappointed that we've not counted dominance into goal. We've not looked too bad, but we just need to put the ball at the back of the net.
Okay, so also looking at the game between Remo Stars and Zilimanju. It's Remo Stars who are 4 goal up against Zilimanju of Comoros, and that game is fast, not turning fast out of a context already. Arsenal presented with that chance. Ibericheze finds Leonard throws out with a free chance for the equalizer. But there's no Arsenal player to put a leg onto that.
How?
And they love one out there from the Gunners. You can sight a lot of hatred for the Arsenal fans there right here. As everybody are just looking forward that Arsenal are not going to get a goal in this. So Manchester City on the ball there. Sends a long one, but there was nobody to get onto that. And it's just about time. When is that Arsenal goal finally going to come on? When is that goal not going to come in this encounter? Because Arsenal's really dominated this one and looking to get that equalizer against Manchester City in this game. There's still a lot of time to go in this encounter.
Yeah, and because Wing has been very, very used in this game, and just hope we get the goal as early as possible so we could push for all 3 points.
Okay, let's see if that 3 points is possible. A long one there from Arsenal. Manchester City doing a lot of defensive work there in the second half. They've really taken the pressure to Manchester City. Let's just see if they won't crack at the end of this encounter. 60th minute approaching the 61st minute. 1 hour of football already at Emirates Stadium. What's it called? Michael, I'm very sure you enjoy yourself.
Of course.
Wow. I can see that from you.
Someone beside me is very, 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 I don't want to say anything, but he knows himself. He knows he's not getting any 3 points.
What's it called? Kotoko and Kwara United is currently 4-3. Kotoko leading against Kwara United, and late into that game. If they're still losing this game by 1 goal deficit, I think it's still a manageable result for them coming into the return leg right here in Nigeria. It's left to see if that game will be played at the Kwara United Stadium, which is known as the Rashid Yekini Stadium in Ilorin, or will it be played at the Moshood Abiola Stadium right there in Abeokuta, where we are currently having that beautiful game between Remo Stars and Zilimanju of Comoros. And the return leg of that game between Remo Stars and Zilimanju will also be played here in Nigeria at also the same tough Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta. Back to the Foka match, which is the Arsenal Manchester City game. We are straight into the 63rd minute, and it looks like Manchester City. Pep Guardiola has mastered the act of packing the box right now.
In games like this, at times you need it. When you see the opposition is a bit, stronger than you, you have to find a way to, beat them. So far, they've been, more of a defensive team, rather try to play out on the counter.
I don't know why I still feel with him in that. Just there will surely be an equalizer from Arsenal in this game
Well,
because
you
they are
know,
walking, they are
the
walking the
pressure is
line. They're walking the
definitely
line. The
there.
pressure is there. They're taking the pressure to Manchester City. Okay, there's a long one there from Manchester City goalkeeper, and Manchester City back in possession, looks to switch play and drops it onto the path of Jeremy Doku, but Berichi is a Bukayo Saka, sorry, back in possession and won himself a free kick, and that was Rajnas holding on to the England international. So Arsenal takes down the possession immediately. Yes, Bukayo Saka caught inward with the ball there. Tries to beat the man there. Referee allows place to continue, but it's a free kick to Arsenal in the 63rd minute of this game.
To be honest, because Saka has been very, very lively. Look at what I was saying about his strength. He believes he can use his strength. If it were to be non-Maduka, he would have tried to outpace the player there. But everything is not all about pace.
All right, barely 26 more minutes to play in this encounter between Arsenal and Manchester City. It's a free kick to Arsenal, and is Declan Rice is starting on this, and you can see the Arsenal players doing a formation, a formula in the box there. They can always be dangerous when it comes to set pieces and situation. Can Manchester City continue defending this against the Gunners, who has only conceded 2 goals in the EPL? This is a long one into the box there. Ooh. You have to take it to. You have to give it to the Manchester City defense lines. Yeah. I think they've done a good work against them. Arsenal for the past 1 hour of this game. We're straight into it. It's just the 5th minute. 20 minutes gone in the second half, and still 25 more minutes to play in the second half. Still Arsenal in possession. What would they make out of that? Returns it finds on William Saliba. Arsenal playing with a big eye-line football right now in the second half, chasing this equalizer against Manchester City. It's a big pressure Manchester City are soaking. You can see all their players back behind the ball right now.
Yeah, everybody doing a bit to make sure they don't concede, and all of them are at the back now trying to help the defense.
Okay, as Eberechi on the ball there, tries to play in his teammate there, still returns back to Eberechi. Leonardo Trossard on the ball there, cross into the box with a beat for Gunners. The defense still doing beautifully well there. Eberechi on the ball there, drops it back to William Saliba. Saliba finds Zubimendi. Mendy on the ball there, finds Saliba. Saliba holds onto the ball. Eberechi asking for the ball, but yes, finally Saliba drops it to Eberechi. Eberechi finally losing the ball there. Bernardo Silva holds onto the ball for Manchester City. He's a slicky player with the ball at his feet there. Finds Phil Foden. Foden returns it back into the middle. Finds his teammates, and here's our Manchester City looking to attack against Arsenal with this great chance for them to finally get a second. They cross into the box there. When we get into Erling Haaland, with that, we're going to roll out for a throw-in. Bukayo Saka almost skipping that, but Rajnas winning possession back from Manchester City. Manchester City enjoying their own fair share of possession. Referee allows place to continue. Says that was a fair challenge on Jeremy Doku. Yes, Bukayo Saka on the ball. Approaches on the Manchester City box. Still holds onto the ball there and tries to find that opening. But Manchester City this time around clears the line halfway. The pitch has the tension is finally growing in this game. A long one there from Arsenal with this big chance for the equalizer as Gyökeres in the box there. But still Arsenal enjoying every bit of possession. Right now, if we're checking this possession, we should be around 80% to Arsenal. Right now it's 69% of the ball possession to the Gunners and 31 to Manchester City. Shows how much Arsenal have come into the second half and dominate the second half. It looks like those substitutions made by Mikel Arteta were pivotal to Arsenal's improvement in the second half.
Honestly, because you can see both players have been very, very involved in going forward with whatever has been doing in this second half. Just that what's left is for them to convert the dominance into a goal.
Okay, that's really been hard for them to break, and it's Manchester City are currently playing. Have to take everything forward, because if they hit out on the counter, they have a prolific striker in Erling Haaland up front. There's still Manchester City in possession right now as they look to turn defense into attack, but it throws out to a throwing to Manchester City right there in this game. We're straight into
I think Mikateta should be making
the
another
67th
bringing in more
minute.
defenders.
We have Manchester City making a defensive conscious substitution right now. Nitenate Ake will be thrown into this game. A yellow card to, looks like a yellow card to a Manchester City board player.
I think Pep
Pep
Guardiola,
Guardiola getting a yellow card right there on the bench. Yes, Pep Guardiola getting a yellow card. Frustration everywhere. As we get straight in the 68th minute of this encounter, it's still Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0. Phil Foden has been withdrawn, and it's Nathan Ake been thrown into this game. Now looks more like Pep Guardiola is settling for a defensive walk against Arsenal for remaining 23 minutes of this game.
Yeah, and
Is that the right thing to do, Michael?
Yeah, of course. We need to secure the 3 points, I think. Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Paul?
I think Mikateta should be bringing on, making another substitution because I still feel Martinelli has a lot, to offer in this game. Though Leandro Trossard has been a bit okay in this second half because since the departure of what's his name now, the introduction of Eze rather, you could see him, driving the ball towards him compared to the first half there where he was, not being used.
Yes, Leandro Trossard driving through the Manchester City defense there, still holds onto the ball. He has Kadafori to his side there, but finally drops it and Manchester City wins possession. Jeremy Doku breaking out on the counter. He has 4 Arsenal players to beat. How is he going to get out of that? But one Manchester City a free kick here as was brought down by
Rice,
Declan Rice in that moment.
I think that's a good play from
This is where they look dangerous. For all the pressure Arsenal is taking to them, you don't have to slip on it. When they eat you out on a counter, they can smoke you out with that counter. That is one thing they can do. And this was the foul from Julian Timber, but I think he won the ball. And
he also got together. And I think
okay, that backlash from Pep Guardiola is why he got a yellow card.
Yeah. And we saw something similar to that in the first half, where I think it was on Tijani Reinders again. He cleared the ball and put the player. And this kind of situation, the player is already on a yellow card. So I don't know if the referee would have, stopped the whistle and say, okay, that's it might blow for a foul, but probably not a yellow card. But once a player is on a yellow card and you blow whistle like that, a lot of fans will be expecting the second card to be coming out.
Oh, yes, Victor Gyökeres on the ball there. We've not. That should be a throw in. Yeah, rightly given. It's a throw in there to Manchester City against the Gunners. It's finished up for 3 in that CAF Confederation game, qualifier game between Ashanti Kotoko and Nigeria's representative Kwara United. The first goal in that game was scored by Emmanuel Antwi for Kotoko, and Kotoko doubled their lead in the 47th minute through Joseph Ablo, while the Nigerians equalized through Jonathan Atule in the 34th minute, and Atule, and also they conceded the second goal to Albert Amor in the 45th minute of that encounter before we had Atule again in the 45th minute equalizing for for Kwara United, but they went behind again through Joseph Abor goal in the 47th minute, and also Albert Amor completed his double in that game in the 73rd minute from the penalty spot. Abdulrahim Shola also scored on the 3rd goal for Kwara United in the 88th minute to still keep this game competitive for the Nigerian representative when they play in the return leg right here in Nigeria. 19 more minutes to play in this game between Arsenal and the Manchester City. It's a solidarity goal scored by Erling Haaland, which differentiate both sides in this encounter.
More substitutions. You look at the bench, you still have players that can come in and make impact, add to the pressure. You see Manchester
That should be a
City,
yellow card.
Is
that not a red card?
That was a 50-50 challenge. Yeah. That's a 50-50 challenge.
Why is that 50? I think. Yes, Manchester City, Arsenal back in possession rather there. Straight onto the parts of Bukayo Saka, who has O'Reilly to beat and looks inward into the midfield and finds Zubi Mendy, who drives in through the Manchester City blocks and drops it straight into the parts of Kadefori. Kadefori drives inward with the ball there and finds Eberechi. Eze on the ball there, switches and finds Julian Tiba, who returns it back to Eberechi. Eberechi, beautifully dummy work done there by the England international. Yeah, he's how beautiful they have been if Eberechi was playing for the Spikers of Nigeria. There's a long one. Manchester City breaking the lines there, but Arsenal still in possession. That should be a yellow
Red
card.
card. Red card, referee.
Calafiori will be getting a yellow card in this encounter, which means both Arsenal's fullbacks in this game, Julian Tiba and Calafiori, are already on the yellow card. That is surely a yellow card for Calafiori.
But it hasn't been shown. Let's
Let's see that again.
wait for the confirmation.
It's a red card.
It's a yellow card any day. But let's see if the referee will be giving the Gunners defender a yellow card, which I don't really think he'll be giving him.
It hasn't been shown, but we'll have to confirm if he has given him. When the camera was.
Is that Bernardo Silva asking to be substituted? This game is finally sucking in the pressure. We can see Pep Guardiola. This is we hardly see Pep Guardiola in this kind of mood. And that's is it confirmation. It's not a yellow card. The referee didn't adjudge that to be worthy of a yellow card. So it's only the Arsenal defender Julian Timber that is on the yellow card on the side of the Gunners, and also Bernardo Silva, the captain of Manchester City, also on a yellow card in this encounter. Is Jeremy Doku tries to get into the blocks and was brought down by the referee, allows place to continue. Says that was a fair challenge. Arsenal will break from the back. Zubimendi on the ball, leading the charge for the Gunners there. What would they make out of that? As they're chasing an equalizer in this one. Leonard throws out on the ball. He has Muniz to beat and drops it into the line. Yeah, might just be a chance for the Gunners there. But Nathan
nice one.
allow himself to be bullied by Victor Yokoresh. Another corner kick for the Gunners in this encounter.
Yeah, and I think
9 corner kicks for Arsenal in this game and just 1 for Manchester City in this encounter.
Yeah, and Arsenal should be changing approach. And I don't know why Mikel Arteta has refused to, make more substitution in this game. It's sickening that you still have what's his name, Martinelli sitting on the bench. You could see that.
Even the Manchester City fans are really, really scared whenever they see Arsenal come close.
That's exactly how I'm feeling too. Yeah.
Yes, Declan Rice standing on this corner kick with this beauty chance for the equalizer, but they have a worthy goalkeeper in Donnarumma, a tall, lanky goalkeeper, has the eye for it, and everything thrown at him. He has been magnificent for Manchester City. Yes, still Manchester City in possession of the ball, but they'll lose the possession and release it back to Arsenal. Arsenal in possession of the ball. Declan Rice on the ball, switches, tries to play in Bukayo Saka. Also, another beautiful control from Bukayo Saka. Referee allows place to continue. Says that was a fair challenge from Manchester City. As Manchester City looks to break Arsenal, wins possession. The recovery rate from the Gunners is actually top notch in this game. He's Jeremy Doku winning the ball and holding on to the ball, but chose to return it to the defense line of Manchester City. Was that wasted effort at the end of the day? It's a throw into Manchester Arsenal. And Arsenal takes that early, but equally caught out there by Manchester City, but still an Arsenal throwing rather, as we're getting straight into the 75th minute, 15 more minutes to play in regulation time in this one. Manchester City leading 1-0, but soaking all the pressure in this encounter.
Yeah, and they could see the pressure from not just the Arsenal fans alone, but including the Manchester City fans. They are still they look very, very worried. Because they know that with the way they are playing, a goal might come in anytime soon.
It looks like a goal might be coming in anytime soon from the Gunners. An error there from Calafiori. Ricardo Calafiori find himself in the box there, but that error not good enough to beat Donnarumma in goal post and sails off wide, and it's a goal kick up to Manchester City in this encounter. Straight into the 76 minutes, still no goal for the Gunners, and Manchester City preparing another substitution in the second half here, and they'll be bringing in.
Haaland has been withdrawn.
Haaland has been withdrawn. Wow. You hardly see Haaland being withdrawn by the Manchester City manager. Hope that's not more of a defensive substitution from the coach.
Let's confirm who is coming on. Is that Savio? I don't think.
Haaland being withdrawn, and it's. Let's see who's been thrown in. That is who?
Just have to confirm again.
Okay,
well, I don't think it's Savio. Gonzalez. More defensive, cover for them.
But taking out Erling Haaland might just be dangerous one for Pep Guardiola, because we know what Haaland can bring into this game. The hold-up play from Erling Haaland has really been it, and we've seen Donnarumma finally picking up a yellow card for time wasting.
And Mikel Arteta sit them allowing what's his name, Pep Guardiola bringing on those substitution. Why you refuse to make substitution, and you look at Arsenal bench there, you could still get at least 2 players that can still come in and make impact, but they have refused to make substitution. I don't know why.
Okay, yes, let's see how long they can keep this in check as we are getting straight into the 77th minute of this air counter. It's still the Gunners of 0, Manchester City 1. And 14 more minutes to go. The pressure, Arsenal still taking the pressure to Manchester City. At a point, it's going to crack. Don't you think so?
I just hope so, because I hope it crack, because we've seen games like this where teams soak up pressure. I could remember when we went to I think against Manchester United, we soaked a lot of pressures after. At the end of the day, we were able to hold on to ourselves. But I'll be very disappointed after 90 minutes before to score in this game after playing beautifully well like this, but couldn't put the ball at the back of the net.
Okay, so let's see if they can actually pull the ball into the back of the net. That is what's up they're trying to do. Arsenal taking everything to Manchester City, but they have 12 more minutes to get on that needed equalizer and probably a winner in this game. Arsenal need to getting the games done in the dying embers of this game. Is Bukayo Saka getting across the to Gianni Rajnas there. And still Arsenal in possession. Calafori on the ball finds this Arsenal teammate who holds onto the ball. There returns it back to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka switching wing now to double up with what's it called, Leonard Trossard on the other side of the midfield. Yeah, it's still 1-0. Manchester City leading right there in the 79th minute. For how long can they hang on? They are trying to hang on in this one.
And if you ask me, if Arsenal fail to get a victory in this game, even a draw, I'll still put the blame on Mikel Arteta, because now he has failed to make another substitution as early as 70-something minutes. And you look at the formation he started with, the midfield three. Yeah, the midfield three that has not worked for you so far, and you continue to use it. And I don't know why he has refused to at least bring on more substitution in this game.
Okay, so let's see.
Not that you don't have to
in this one. 79 minutes gone in this encounter.
There's no coming back from
11 more minutes to play in this encounter. No striker for Manchester City right now, as Pep Guardiola made a lot of defensive substitution. And now it reminds me, I now understand, or I now know where Maresca learnt that rubbish he did yesterday.
Yes, of course.
Manchester United, he learnt it from Pep Guardiola. So I can't understand how you are taking out your attacking outlets.
But the difference is that they are still
they are leading.
They are leading.
It's Bukayo Saka on the ball there. He has O'Reilly to beat, and Riley's doubling up there. We have Iberichi Eze on the ball there, cuts inward into the middle of the park. And here's Gabriel on the ball there. Long one for Gabriel. That was taken off by Matheus Nunes. It's going to be a corner kick to Arsenal at the 80th minute.
And I think Nunes has been very impressive since he came. He has been making those blocks.
He should have been on offside. He should have left the ball.
Is he complaining about offside rather?
Yeah, he was complaining.
That was offside.
I think it was.
Yeah, but it's
because get
to the player.
Substitution for Manchester City, for Arsenal there, and that is Nigerian Timber being withdrawn for Martinelli. Looks like Arsenal are interested in doing a lot of attacking work right now.
What you have to do, because they've sacrificed all their own forward players, and now you are. And I don't know why this substitution is coming very, very, very late.
10 minutes and probably plus 5
it's
minutes.
late.
We have about 15 more minutes to play in this game, so there's still a lot of time for Arsenal to chase this equalizer. And from the corner kick out first there, a long one into the box there. Donnarumma was fumbling that for Manchester City, and still being played in the air. Manchester City finally kicking that out, but half cleared into the path of Bukayo Saka, who holds onto the ball there. And Bukayo Saka scanning through the pitch to see which of the Arsenal player is best positioned to get on the ball. And finally, they find Iberichi Eze on the ball. Chase through the line there. Iberichi Eze cut inward and also scanning to see who to drop a pass to. Finally, he drops it onto the part of his Arsenal teammate. And here is Declan Rice on the ball there. Switches and finds Ricardo Calafori. Calafori making himself to where? Oh, that's a long one.
Was trying to cross the ball in with your foot there.
He was actually trying to.
Is it to cross
the top corner?
Yeah.
I'm having confidence in this kind of match. You are not coming back from this corners.
Okay, it's the first minute of this game.
Yeah.
We have barely 8 more minutes to play as we are getting straight into the 82nd minute. It's Manchester City not in a rush. They are never in a rush in this one. They are still leading, and Arsenal also winning the balls every damn time it goes into the air. And this looks like, this is why I don't favor that substitution he made, taking out
Erling
Erling
Haaland.
Haaland in this game. Even if Erling Haaland is not getting any goal or involvement in the second half, he's still a danger. He's still a dangerous man on the pitch. And yeah, he's on Jeremy Doku on the ball there. Drops it, finds himself in the box with this great chance for the Gunners of Manchester City second goal. Jeremy Doku, but it's nobody to put that into the back of the net. What a real opportunity for Manchester City in the second half of this game. And there is Bernardo Silva on the ball there. Returns it back inward into the midfield. And yeah, he's a chance for Manchester
That was a
City.
bad pass, or what the goalkeeper was doing there. Wow.
Miscommunication between the goalkeeper.
I think the
and his
goalkeeper waited
defender there.
too long.
Yeah, he
there.
waited too long there. Pressure on him. Pressure on the goalkeeper there.
Is that Martinelli that
Arsenal.
was chasing that ball? I think it was your Corres.
The free kick to Arsenal there. If that should be a free kick to the Gunners. Let's see. Looks like a Manchester City player. I'm currently on the top there, spotting the jersey number 27, if I'm not mistaken. There,
That's O'Reilly.
No nice.
I think it's alright.
That's O'Reilly. Yeah, Riley currently on the top there. That might look like a bad injury for the young player there. But the Manchester City medics will be attending to him shortly. Let's see that again.
It was even pulling. And it was. Almost, is that Foden there, or who is that? Almost,
Naked in
okay, Yusko Gavio there. Okay, clearing the ball with Bukayo Saka.
Riley will be able to continue this encounter. And talking about the younger 20 years old England international, who is currently on the top. He should be back on his feet to continue this game for Manchester City, but he looks to be in severe pain. I just hope he'll be able to continue this game with Manchester City.
Fair enough. You made the first substitution during halftime. You the game before making another substitution.
It might be Savinho who will be thrown in by the Manchester City balls of Pep Guardiola. O'Reilly is back on his feet and might be able to continue. It's a free kick to the Gunners right there at the 85th minute of this counter. 5 more minutes to go in regulation time. You'll stick off in net of a goal.
Definitely, to be honest, I've been more relaxed in this game because with the way they are playing, but it's just painful that you continue to play and you've not been able to put the ball at the back of the net because so far in this second half, I don't think has really been a contest between both. I think Arsenal have made all the play. But Manchester City defensively, they've been good,
Michael, I used to see an hat-trick for Pep.
Well, that's not possible anymore. That's not possible anymore. Yeah, but
okay,
I think we might steal that. We might steal the 3 points.
Okay, let's see if they can get us to 3 points as we're getting straight into the 86th minute. And this is a dead throwing for the Gunners. It's going to be a long one into the box there. Manchester City clears the lines halfway. Still Arsenal in possession. Manchester City wins the ball back. And Arsenal trying to get that back. But Manchester City will look to turn defense into attack. And onto the power defines Jeremy Doku, who's onto the ball. He's a willing runner with the ball out his feet. And that should be a yellow card to the Arsenal defender there, William Saliba. Is the referee going to give that? Is that a dive for no, that's not Saliba. Zubimendi. The referee says it's not a yellow card, but allows plays and puts advantage of Manchester City. Free kick to Manchester City there, and it's Jeremy Doku, who I think should be the man of the match should this game end up this way for Manchester
I don't think
City.
so. Probably it will be Erling Haaland.
He's a candidate for man of the match. Looking at his performance in this game. Okay, let's see who wins the man of the match come end of this game, and we have John Stones will be thrown into this game for for Manchester City. Experience choking at the back for Manchester City. Riley will be withdrawn in this game right now. Great game from O'Reilly for Manchester City.
Yeah, it's been very good. Defensively, the guys at the back there. Yeah, and
he held his own. He held his own.
And he also had the cover up. You see, they were helping, coming on to double mark. Is this Saka or Noni Madueke? And to be honest, the Manchester City defense, they're very impressive.
And Doku will also been withdrawn there, and Savio, who has been thrown into this encounter by the Manchester City manager, as they're still hanging on with all their life in this one to see if they can finally get a 3 points at Emirates Stadium over the Gunners. There's still a lot of time to go in this encounter, so you don't want to write off Arsenal's equalizer in this game. Yes, Manchester City back in possession in the dying embers of this encounter. Can they get it done in this game? Only time will tell. Still City, Matheus Nunes on the ball there, loses possession, and that is going to roll out for a throw into Manchester City. Okay, throwing in the nine neighbors of this one as we get straight into the 88th minute. 2 more minutes to play regulation time. We should be seeing about 6 minutes additional time at the end of this game or more. Should we get into the end of this encounter? That should be an offside call. Yes, offside call rightly given as a free kick to match Arsenal against Manchester City. David Raya called into action 88 minutes. And looking at it, it's going to be hard to break through this Arsenal defense line this season.
Yeah, and you could see, the one time Manchester City were able to, run over the defense there, and they got, the goal there.
Okay, as a back in place, Arsenal in possession as a look to attack against Manchester City. Will they be getting that equalizer in this game as we're straight into the 89th minutes? 1 more minute for Manchester City to hang on in regulation time. Bar additional time in this game. Calafori on the ball there and drops it straight. That was Iberichese on the ball and straight into the path of Bukayo Saka. Saka cut inward with the ball there. Finds Gabriel. Gabriel with the ball finds Declan Rice. Declan Rice will come forward with the ball for the Gunners and switches onto the wing where he finds Martinelli. Martinelli comes inward, returns it back to Declan Rice. Declan Rice scanning through and finds Calafori. Calafori with an in-swinger. But easily cut out there by the Manchester City defense. Manchester City defending with all their life for this remaining 1 minute of regulation time.
Yeah.
And you still, I love the confidence in you as an Arsenal fan. If Arsenal end up losing this game, that means it's going to be 2 games they've lost this season. 2 games they actually feel like should have ended in a draw at least for them.
Yeah, and to be honest, for the first time this season, I'll be putting a lot of blame on not the players, but not even a lot of blame, but all the blame on Arteta because
wrong starting 11.
Yes,
wrong starting
and
11.
Making substitutions very, very late to my liking in this game.
Okay, here's a Berechese on the ball there. Always a joy to watch whenever he holds onto the ball for the Gunners. We're straight into the 90th minute of this encounter. That is barely 30 seconds away from we expecting additional time. Offside call against Bukayo Saka there, who has switched on wing.
I don't know why he's switching wing now. Is it accommodating one area or what? And or is Martinelli? Where is Martinelli?
Have you seen one area in this match?
Doubling up on that wing, on that Martinelli's wing there. Let's see if they can take advantage of Matheus on that that wing. Yes, the goal kick, free kick rather, out to Manchester City, and it's going to be taken there by the Datsma, who has been fantastic for them all game long, Donnarumma. But fortunately, he had to pick a yellow card. Arsenal with a rare opportunity against Manchester City, but Manchester City clears the lines off there. We are straight into additional time. 7 minutes is the additional minutes added by the 4th official. 7 more minutes for Arsenal to find that equalizer. 7 more minutes for Manchester City to hang on against the Gunners in this game. Arsenal in possession of the ball, looking to attack. Everything has been going through the side of that's going to be a corner kick to the Gunners on their 10th in this encounter. Well, still, yes, that is their 10th corner kick, 11th corner kick in this game, and just 1 corner kick to Manchester City in this encounter.
I think they should also change tactics because you've seen that what's his name, Donnarumma has been coming on to parry those balls, and you could pass and take a short one instead of going long now.
Okay, let's try to make out of this corner kick as we have Gabriel in the box here. A lot of Gunners and defenders and midfielders in the box. We know they can be so dangerous from the corner kick. Easily cut out there by the Manchester City defenders. And Bukayo Saka back in possession of the ball for Arsenal rather. Yes, the Arsenal in possession. Nwaneri with the ball there. Goes out wide, finds Declan Rice. Declan Rice returns it back to Nwaneri. Nwaneri is setting up a long one into the box there. Manchester City clears the lines. It might just be a chance for Manchester City to counter against Arsenal, but it's really chose to return it back into the middle of the park. Still Manchester City in possession. What would they make out of that? Drops it straight. It might just be a chance on 2 against 3. Manchester City running through the channels. While there's Savinho called into action, still Manchester City in possession, fighting with all their life, and Arsenal regains possession. And the advantage in Gunners there. He was almost wasting the time there. Yeah. Just as he saw that it was his teammates who were in possession, he's got back onto his feet here. Might just be a long one with this building chance for the equalizer. And a long one for the
Gabriel Martinelli! Gabriel Martinelli, why is he on the bench since? That was it.
Serve equalizer.
That was it. Gabriel Martinelli,
equalizer
go
for
and
the
pick the
Gunners
ball. You could still win the
in
game.
the 93rd minute of this game.
Gabriel Martinelli, Mikel Arteta.
To send the Manchester City fans into
I'm not happy.
jubilation.
Honestly, I'm not happy.
And what a way to come back in this game. Manchester City
Bring it on, you
finding
use
that
space.
equalizer, a well-deserved equalizer for Arsenal.
Oh my word.
Finally in the game, the defense went open, and Arsenal finally find that plug-in. There's still a lot of time in this encounter. 94th minute. That is what it took Arsenal to break through the
there's
defense.
no offside there.
There's no offside. There's no offside. He ran through the channel and got himself into the offside. It's a clean goal there for Martinelli against Manchester City.
And you have to love the keeper.
Good defensive work there. And
there
was nothing he was going to do there. Wow. Beautiful picked up there by Martinelli. That was the last leg.
Out already.
There was nothing the goalkeeper could do about that. He has been beaten for the first time in the EPL, and in the 94th minute. It's a well-deserved goal for Arsenal. Still 3 more minutes for them to dream on in this game, and they can still do it and find that second goal for the Gunners in this game. Yes, the goal has been confirmed. Martinelli equalizer for Arsenal late into this game. Late dramas in this encounter between Arsenal and Manchester City.
Honestly, I'm not happy because to be honest, I'm not a coach, but I think Mikel Arteta all wrong because he waited for a very, very long time to make those. You could see substitution he made. We're making impact, but why are you not waiting so long? So waiting for the time to go.
And also wrong substitutions from the side of Manchester City also cost them these 3 points in this game. A game you are actually soaking pressure. You shouldn't be making defensive substitution. Arsenal still has a chance of chasing this game and finally getting a winner. It's not over until it's over for the Gunners in games like this. They're still on the course for a full 3 points after getting that equalizer. Straight into the 95th minute and 2 minutes to play. Arsenal in possession of the ball, enjoying every beat. Even if you are taking out Erling Haaland, there was no need taking out Jeremy Doku in this encounter. He has been a life wire for Manchester City, and that substitution actually disrupts everything I'm seeing in this game. Manchester City are attacking right now, and they'll look to come out against the Gunners and see if they can get the all 3 points. But I think 1 point is still a very good result for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva on the ball there, holds onto it and returns it back into the middle of the park. He finds his teammate, returns it back to Bernardo Silva. Silva in possession, tries to go around his man there, still holds onto it, and Silva being brought on. Should be a free kick to Manchester City. Rightly, yes, that is a right decision made here. It's going to be 1 point shared between both sides. I said it whenever Michael gives those predictions. Just go against.
But that was a lovely coach. I don't think there's any I could have.
No, there's nothing the goalkeeper.
No, I'm talking about Martinelli. There's nothing he could have done other than just play the ball like that, because if you fail to have,
and you can see what that goal means to me.
I don't know why he's celebrating that goal, because it's the reason why we are playing. To be honest, we have Manchester City for the key in this game with the way we've been playing, but he made a lot of wrong calls. First of all, the starting 11.
It's a wrong makeup. I think if it's about the substitution, I think Mikel Arteta made the right substitutions for Arsenal in this game. Who made the wrong substitution in this game has to be Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola made the wrong substitution.
What the fuck is wrong with
break
these
out
guys?
on the counter. A chance for them to win this game against Manchester City, but easily cut off the ball there, and Manchester City back in possession. It's really going to be a dicey last 1 minute of play in this encounter. Arsenal back in possession, returns it back to the goalkeeper to restart our play as we are straight into the last 30 seconds of this game. It's really an Arsenal game. They can still win this one in the late embers of this game. They know how to get those games on the dying embers. Arsenal back in possession, looking to set up, attacking against Manchester City. Set one across the line there, but Manchester City back in possession. What is he doing there? You're playing with fire at the back. All right, straight into the 7th minute of additional time. Barely 10 seconds to go, and don't forget, it's always a minimum of time, not maximum of time. So we might be seeing 1 more minute to be played ahead of that 7 minutes additional time for the celebration of goals scored by Martinelli in the 94th minute of this game. Manchester City in possession of the ball. A long one, tries to play in his teammates. It's going to be a free kick to Manchester City against Arsenal.
Honestly, I think if we, what's Mikel Arteta doing?
Try to defend more now.
Defend what? What's Mikel Arteta doing? Honestly, Mikel Arteta cost us now all 3 points in this game. If this game,
I think I need to blame Guardiola as well. Oh, no, no.
All right, it's going to be a free kick to Pep Guardiola and his boys in the dying embers of this game. With this,
Oh, you
they
see
still have a
for a
chance
draw.
of winning this game late in this encounter. Zubimendi will be withdrawn for Mosquera, who has been thrown in to fortify the Arsenal defense in this encounter. Late dramas in this game. We are straight into the last minute, possibly of additional time. Manchester City with a free kick. The referee interested in having words with the players in the box. They long on into the box there. Arsenal clears their lines, and it's going to be another Manchester City will keep on the possession. With his returns, they chose to return it back to the goalkeeper, Donnarumma, who was finally beaten in this encounter. A long one from Donnarumma, tries to play in his teammate, but David Raya, we gather that for Arsenal. Arsenal with one of their last attack in this encounter, as we're getting straight into the 9 minutes of 7 minutes additional time. A long one from the Gunners. They can win it out late in this game also. Still Manchester City in possession of the ball. Half clear there. Still Manchester City will look to attack now. Being brought down there, should be a free kick. Arsenal's trying to slow down the tempo. Manchester City now growing in the game at the wrong time.
Yeah, and I think it's after they've considered the goal and they try to push out now.
That should be it.
Yeah, and it reminds me of the first leg we played last season at their home ground here. Where they have to get the equalizer deep into stoppage time. Also, something that Arsenal has also done in this game. But the difference was that Arsenal were playing with a man down in that game compared to them now. Playing for 11-11. But for me, I think like I've been saying since Mikel Arteta got all these things, everything wrong in this game.
Yes, Arsenal still looking for the last minute drama. But the referee says, I've seen enough of it. It ended at Emirates Stadium, 1-1 between Arsenal and the Manchester City. It seems the games today in the EPL are written plots written from heaven. All 3 games ended a full-time draw. To those punters who might have thought of that, who would have seen that coming. 3 full-time draws in the EPL. Bournemouth against Newcastle ended up 0-0. Sunderland against Aston Villa 1-1. And Arsenal against Manchester City ending 1-1. If you had put your money on that 3 draws, that might have been a lot of money in the jackpot for you. Yes, so great game of football, guys, in the studio.
Yeah, great game. So disappointed as an Arsenal fan that we couldn't take all 3 points, but overall great game to
1
watch.
point is better than nothing.
Yeah, but if you from my own perspective, if you try to understand, looking at the game overall, how we've been playing the game, and you could see that the substitution and the starting 11 cost us a lot in this game. You see the impact the substitutions made, and one of the the player that came in was one that got the goal. And I was calling for him to have brought him on since he what's his name? Leandro Trossard shouldn't play up to 80 plus minutes in this game.
Okay, straight to Michael. Michael, 4 times you've predicted in the studio. The first one was Chelsea against Bayern Munich, if I'm not mistaken. Chelsea lost that game 3-1. The second was Chelsea against Manchester United. Chelsea lost that game. This one, Arsenal against Manchester City. Manchester City to win.
Well,
Lost. Erling Haaland to score a trick. Lost. 4 times you've predicted. It looks like you are going to break the record that will show light one set in the studio.
well, I think I will blame Guardiola for this draw, because at least
Arsenal actually deserved their goal. That is one thing you can take away from them. They dominated the whole game right from the 10th minute.
you have
After the
3
Manchester City
minutes to defend a goal. Yeah, you can bring on so many defenders to just stop your Arsenal attackers.
But I don't think
That's what I'm saying.
No, the goal they considered, I don't think that was that could have they could have considered that goal also, because you look at the ball was played from the back there, and the player was with Martinelli. But the only difference was that Martinelli had to I don't know where he got that IQ from. Just play it, because I still feel if you are taking another touch without playing that ball, there's no how he's going to convert from that place.
Okay, the EPL table is taking a shape right now. Liverpool running away with 5 points lead and opening a lot of gap against the chasing Parks, as Liverpool they've won 5 from 5 games and scored 11 goals and conceded 5 goals to sit 15 points at the top of the table. Arsenal coming in second from 5 games. They've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1, plus 8 goals difference. They've scored 10 and conceded 2 in 5 games, which is actually really something to celebrate about. The Gunners is to sit at 10 points at second. We also have Tottenham Hotspur coming in at the 3rd position. Same thing as they had not Northern Labours. They've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1, plus 7. They've scored 10 and conceded 3 goals, 7 points. And also Bournemouth at the fourth position. Three they've won, one they've lost, and one they've drawn. And they have plus one goal difference, which means they've scored 6 and conceded 5 to sit at 10 points. And we also have Crystal Palace at the fifth position. They've won 2, they've drawn 3, and unbeaten. So Crystal Palace and Liverpool remain unbeaten in the EPL as it stands right now. It's always a pleasure having you guys in the studio to discuss some football. Okay, to our fans and subscribers, thanks for joining us for the whole of Match Day 5 1 week of EPL. Do join us next week for more interesting action, not just football alone. You can also join us on Talk Sports whenever we're in the studio to talk about all the happenings in the game of football. From me and my